I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in.
Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode. Oh, it's like, why I look green, Chad? But anyway, welcome to the new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm your host, Chris Avalon, and we're going to be talking about all the latest in what's going on with entertainment news, gossip, celebrity, all that stuff that goes on in the celebrity world. We talk about it on this here show. So, before we get started, do yourselves a solid and hit that. Oh my God, it's like I'm forgetting what the hell I'm. Anyway, it's my fault. Do yourself a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon and Filter. It's because I'm trying to do 5 million damn things while I'm trying to also host the show, including um trying to get this thing over to Facebook so that way people can watch the show live from there as well. Because I post it everywhere. I'll be on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram. Instagram, y'all need to get it together with y'all live stream. So we live on YouTube. So if you're over on the YouTube, say, hey girl. Oh, how you doing? You can say all of that. So we definitely this is an interactive talk show. So we basically, whatever topics we talk about on the show, you can all chime in with your opinions and stuff. You know, we're gonna talk about a lot. So we're definitely gonna talk about Madonna and Kylie Minogue last night at the celebration tour. We got footage, we got all that stuff. So we're gonna play all of that. Plus, I got some Scream 7, I don't want to say Scream 4, Scream 7 news. Um from one of the core four speaking out. And then we have a lot of tea. We got Kimora Lee shading Usher and Uncle Russ. We got Camila Cabello finally revealing why she quit Fifth Harmony. Andy Cohen is finally back at Leah McSweeney over them Booger Sugar claims. Maluma child went and did Playgirl. He is on the cover. We have the photos. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about that. And what else? Oh, so we're also gonna talk about because I believe Roro was the person who brought up in the last episode as we were closing out breaking news about the armorer from the Russ movie set, got convicted of involuntary manslaughter. So that was brought up at the end of the show, but I have all the details. We're gonna talk about that and I'm gonna give my opinion. Plus Draya and Michele. Y'all remember her from Basketball Wives, 39 years old, pregnant with her third baby, and her baby father is 22 years old. We're going to talk about that hot mess. Plus, Kevin Hart said he learned a necessary lesson when, back in the day when he was telling them homophobic jokes and they got some backlash. I believe it also hurt his chances of hosting the Oscars. So he said that he learned a lesson. And plus, Tan France is speaking out over the allegations that he campaigned to get Bobby Berk fired and him replaced with his friend, or as we say in the gay community, his good Judy, um, Bobby Berk. So we have all that we're going to be talking about in a second. But like I said before, please do yourselves a solid if I didn't already. The like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button. So that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. So without further ado, let me hit my damn banner so that way we could get to getting. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I feel like I'm just like all over the place today. Well, it happens when you're doing every damn thing. But anyway, not that I'm complaining, yeah. All right, so let's talk about child. When I woke up this morning, I was not expecting this to be on my bingo card. I was not expecting to hear anything about Kylie Minogue and Madonna doing a duet because it wasn't that long ago. When was it? It was probably not even a week when she was at the oh my God, the Brits. Yeah, she was at the Brits. She was on the red carpet. She was being interviewed. I believe it was after she had gotten the Global Icon Award, whatever the award it was that they gave her. She was talking about how she's interested in. Well, she's been talking about this for years that she wanted to do a collaboration with Madonna. She wants to do a duet with her. That it's been a long time coming. It's something she's always wanted, and she is working on new music. I think it's for an extended version of Tension is what if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what she's currently been working on extra music, and they're probably gonna release it, who knows, maybe this summer, later on this year, I don't know. But I do know that Kylie's been in the studio recording new music while she's also doing the residency at Voltaire. So after all of that, she did mention that she wanted to do, like I said, she wanted to do a collaboration with Madonna and a duet. Never in a million years was I expecting to wake up this morning and then Robert sent me a message talking about, show me pictures of Madonna and Kylie. And the first thing out my brain was, is this real? Is this AI? Because there'd be too many pictures floating around where I don't know if it's AI. A lot of people don't know it's AI. I'll be posting pictures. People like, that's not real. And then I'll be out here looking like, well, I don't really look like Boo the Fool. I just don't care. I move on. But and then I'm like, well, damn. So sometimes it's become really hard with AI to know what is and what isn't real. But then I happen to just go on the Twitter, because I ain't calling it the other name. It will always be called by its dead name. So we call it the Twitter. And so I went over there and I saw the pictures, I saw the videos, and we had footage. So we're going to play it. So yeah, Kylie showed up last night. Oh my God, I totally forgot to do another thing, but I'm going to save it for after I do the Kylie thing because I want to address something about this whole controversy that's going on in New York right now. But I'm going to say that to afterwards because I already done started with the Kylie and the Madonna. So we're just going to go along with it. So, Kylie was in the crowd. I did see some pictures where she was with, I guess, her team or whatever. And then she was brought up on stage. But apparently she knew all the words, I Will Survive. So I'm like, well, they're playing. Like, did y'all let Kylie know? Because it was like Kylie's coming to the concert. She had a black top on that said Madonna's name, which was similar to something that, of course, Felix and we talked about on the last show, which was the shirt that Madonna wore when she performed at the Europe Music Awards. I think it was back in 2000 or 2002. I can't remember, but it was in the 2000s. But anyway, so she wore a top and she got up on stage. She performed music and she had Kylie Minogue's name written across. And the same thing applied with Kylie. Kylie paid homage to that with her look last night. And so Kylie came up on stage. They sang I Will Survive and Can't Get You Out of My Head. And child, I think I queefed glitter out my ass. I think the gay Twitter exploded. It was a lot going on, child. So and the gays was happy because that's what happened. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to the clip in case y'all didn't see it. I do have it, courtesy of the E2, and we're gonna play it as a clap.
Now this is what we call a survivor, okay?
Oh my God.
Give it up. I'm falling apart. Anyway, it's a privilege for me to be up here singing with you. You are a fighter too. God bless you. Never give up. You never did. Everyone, how we feeling? Because I can tell you I feel amazing. This moment has been a long time coming. I know. Why did it take so long? I don't know. Where did you take this time? You live far away. Australia's far. This is so good. Okay, so we're gonna sing a little song together. Are you ready? Yeah. But you have to turn your lights on your phone. You need more light. Phone light. Phone light. Oh, you're catching on. Wake up! Wakey, wakey. Don't, everyone's too busy taking pictures. They're gagged. Come on! Turn your fucking lights on. You'll get some more pictures later. You're not doing this song without this place lit up like a goddamn Christmas tree. Come on! Where's your light? What are you filming me for? Turn your light on. You ready? This needs to sparkle even more than her breasts. Yes. First I was afraid. I was petrified, kept thinking I could not live without you by my side. But I spent so many nights just thinking how you did me wrong. And I grew strong, and I learned how to get along. Go on and go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now. 'Cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? Did you think I'd fall? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Woo, baby, hit that note. Oh no, I will survive. Come on, let's sing it with us. Just as long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. 'Cause I've got all this life to live, and I've got all this love to give, and I'll survive. I will survive. It took all the strength I had not to fall apart. Kept trying hard to bend the pieces.
So I just wanted to give you a little bit of that. Like, I don't want to give you the whole concert because that video I think goes on for about 6 minutes. So basically, magic happened last night. This was something that I don't even know if, I mean, I always expected that, Madonna and Kylie would duet in some sort of way, but I never knew it was going to be in that form. I did see some people online say, well, I'm glad that she did it like this because I don't want to see them do an actual song because a lot of times when people who are icons and then you have someone who came up under them because Kylie and Madonna have a 10-year difference. I believe Kylie is 55 and Madonna is 65, so they have a 10-year difference within age. Or yeah, there's a 10-year age gap. So I know some people was like, well, I don't necessarily know if I want to see her do a duet with her, like actual. So I'm like, well, why not? Because I know that would be magic, child. Like, look, similar to Me Against the Music with Britney and Madonna. That's still an iconic song to this day. So I don't know why we can't have that between them. Because I guess because lately we have been getting mediocrity from iconic people doing songs with their ingenues. Do I need to mention Ariana Grande's remix of Yes and with Mariah Carey? That song is total trash. And it was just, in my opinion, a waste of Mariah Carey's vocals. Like, it really didn't elevate the song in any way. So I get people's trepidations, but in my opinion, I definitely think that Madonna and Kylie should do a song together. And I'm sure after the tour and everything, well, I don't know. I guess I don't know what's next for Madonna. I'm assuming either she's going to work on this biopic, revive that, or she's going to or she's going to work on a new album. I would like a new album from her, like something more fun, because it seemed like if you've gone to the celebration tour and if you've been watching the clips, first of all, the clips do not do the concert justice. You really have to be in that room and feel the overall intimacy. So that's what I loved about. I didn't go to the Madam X concert because that concert was dealt with a lot of issues. It was a hot ass mess. One of my friends actually went and bought tickets for one of the New York shows, and the Madam X tour got canceled because she had injuries and all the other stuff that was going on. So she kept canceling a lot of the shows. So I'm glad I dodged that bullet. But what I do like is the fact that she found a way to make the arena experience feel like you're in a intimate theater. And that's what I loved about it, and how simple it was. Because I was watching the the MOVC podcast with Caswell, and they were saying that how if they felt that, oh, well, he said that he didn't understand, like, why, because when you see Beyonce and you saw Taylor Swift and they do all this extravagant stuff, like, looking at this concert, she didn't do any of that. And I'm like, she doesn't need to, because first of all, she been there, done that, wore the t-shirt. Y'all seem to forget that when you look at a Madonna concert, look back at all the older ones, the Drown World tour, the Confessions tour, the Reinvention tour, the even the one that had like a lot of, like, the one I felt was the most intricate of concerts, which was the oh my god, the MDNA tour, when the stage was like coming up and building and moving around. I'm like, what is it? So when people sit up in it and compare, well, Beyonce did this and had this big LED screen. First of all, Madonna walks so them, the rest of you younger hoes can run. And that's no shade. I'm just saying. So she's already done the extravagant, over the top, groundbreaking, state of the art live stage presence. She don't need to do that, especially when she's at a point in her life where A, she almost died, and B, this is a look back, this is a retrospect of her career. So it's sort of like it's almost like going to Broadway and watching a Broadway play created about the life of the artist that you're going to see. So, like, if they did something like Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston, whatever the case is, you're getting that through her music. You're getting a retrospect of her life through her music. So I love the intimacy of it. I love the fact that the stage looks way smaller in person than it does on camera. So the YouTube videos, all that stuff, does not do the concert jealous. So if y'all have a chance, definitely go out and get a ticket. Look, I know a lot of people talk about the tickets too expensive, but here's the real trick. wait till the day before, the day of. That's when they bring them tickets down. Because I've heard people who got like fourth row, like real right on top of the stage, under $100, or not even under, like around $100, or maybe a little more. So you're gonna pay maybe under $200 for a close up situation of the concert. I remember Robert and I's friend Crystal Vanity was like, well, she got her seat upgraded, and I was looking, I was like, I was glad, but I said, you're gonna be right when Madonna comes on that little circular thing in the back. But the only problem was she doesn't spend a lot of time on that side of the stage. She spends more time on the right side, which where I was when I went to New York. So I was like, and that's what one of my friends, Jordana, said. She was like, oh, you got the good spot. Because she's always understanding, and that is true. Madonna spends more time on the right side of the stage than the left. So I was like, and I had a really good seat, and I was like, I was able to see everything. There were points in the concert where it was like, depending on where I was, the screens were a bit, they got in the way about certain things, but I pretty much got what I needed from the concert. And I didn't spend a lot of time recording because I wanted to be in the moment. Like I had to remember back to the days when I actually went to concerts, and I was like, I need to feel that intimacy of not staring at, not recording and staring at my phone and stuff, because I think we get in the habit of doing that too much. But nevertheless, to wrap this all up, because I see I got a lot of comments and I'm gonna get to them because I'm sure there's a lot of Madonna fans or people who got a lot to say. I'm glad this happened. This is the iconic moment, and I have a strange feeling because I did see them cameras. I seen a lot of cameras around there last night, swooshing and whooshing and moving around and all of this stuff. I believe Jonas Ackland was there last night and was recording again because he was there the prior night too. And I'm hearing that, well, I'm assuming that he's filming multiple nights and they're going to stitch that together, because that would be an iconic moment to have Kylie Minogue and Madonna and bring that portion of I Will Survive, because she sings the song every night. But to have Kylie there and Madonna there, who, remember Kylie had cancer and Madonna almost passed away from that infection or whatever. So having those two together singing that song made it even more powerful. And then they sang Can't Get You Out of My Head. So I need to bring that up too. So that was an iconic moment. And child, I heard some tea. I don't know if it's true or not, but don't quote me on it. Word on the street is that Beyonce is supposed to make an appearance at Madonna's concert on Saturday. So if y'all going to the Saturday show, Beyonce might be in the audience and might pop up on stage and do a little something, something with Madonna. Because remember, Madonna came to the Renaissance tour, so that's the rumor. Don't quote me on it, but if it do turn out to be true, you can thank me. Okay, so I hope I hit all the cylinders on that. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't. There's another thing that came out. And I saw Robert post it, but I was like, that was already part of the show. So apparently Madonna is closing out her celebration tour with a free Ultimate Beach Party concert in Copacabana, Brazil. So it said that she's doing a free show in at Copacabana Beach in Brazil. The Brazilian Tourism Board is confirming this news. This came out today. And it said, it's time to get ready. The Queen of Pop arrives in Rio de Janeiro for a free and historic show at Copacabana Beach. I think I may have the actual situation. Let me pull that up for y'all so y'all can see that. And then I'll see the rest of it. It's in Portuguese, and I ain't gonna try to read that. So but anyway, so it's saying like, yeah, she's closing out the celebration tour in Wonder City, marking her 40th year career with a show that promises to be her biggest yet. The tour on May 4th promises to close out her greatest hits tour, or as her musical director Stuart Price puts it, a documentary through her vast career, which is better than calling it greatest hits, because Madonna is not someone that likes to do greatest hits or sing a collection of her songs like a lot of these other singers do. She likes to, it needs to, she always wants to tell a story through her songs. That has always been her thing. And I think that's what always made her more unique than a lot of these other artists who just get up there and they just sing all their past songs, as well as they promote the songs off the new album. Which there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has their own thing that they do, so that way they don't get bored with singing them songs. Because I can imagine, like, I'm 30 years in, I still gotta sing. I'm gonna just throw in there a song that I still gotta sing "Upgrade You," and I'm like 65. I'm like, damn, can we remix this? Can we find a new way to make this interesting? Because yeah, I'll be like, okay, I'm over this damn song. Now I can see why Madonna, at her age, she be talking about, I ain't singing that damn song again. I'm over it. so I definitely feel you, sis. But anyway, so it says that Fans heading to the finale event, which has been dubbed by fans as the ultimate beach party, will be expecting to see the Queen of Pop atop her throne, hits in tow, attitude amped to the absolute max. And it being her final show, she's gonna be so damn happy. So she's probably gonna give y'all a lot of energy. And they said the show was likely to see millions of people turn up for the free event. In December, over 2 million people flocked to the beach to celebrate New Year's Eve. And the last time she performed in Brazil was 2012 when she brought her ninth tour, MDNA, to 3 different stops there. However, her current tour failed to acknowledge South American fans when she previously only announced dates in North America and Europe. So I know they was tight, because I would have been like, why didn't you give your South American fan? Isn't she doing Mexico too? I think that's the final tour, the leg of the tour. But it's nice that she's doing a free tour for the Brazilians. Cause child, don't even get me started. Cause some of the Brazilian boys, y'all are made different. I don't know. Yeah, made different in a good way is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it in a bad way, because some of them Brazilian boys, shit. Ooh. But anyway, um, we have comments. Catherine Griffin was there last night with Paris Hilton and Sia, and she said Madonna had DM'd Paris to ask if she wanted to join her for the Vogue in Vegas, but she didn't see the DM till last. Oh, girl, that's why you need to check your phone, because if you would have been there, that would have been a cute one to have Paris up there with Madonna. Or Madonna, maybe she should have had her people contact um Paris Hilton's people and then have her come up there. Someone said Madonna and Kylie said gay rights and men. Child, not only that, but I feel like that was the real state of the union last night, because Biden was up there, making the Republicans look like a bunch of sissies and punks when he was going inland. I say, damn, who put the battery in that man back? So he wasn't Sleepy Joe last night. But I have to say this, in regards to that, Madonna and Kylie basically, in my opinion, was the real State of the Union address. I watched a little bit of it, but that was the real State of the Union, because they united everybody. They united the gays, the straights, bisexuals, transsexuals. Remember that song? When Madonna was in Australia for Rebel Heart, Madonna did part of Can't Get You Out of My Head. People were hoping for Kylie to show up there, but I think Kylie was in the UK then. And they made the joke. I mean, y'all heard it in the clip where they made a joke about, well, why did it take us so long? And they were just like, because, Kylie's often, she doesn't live in Australia. She lives more in London than anything. She's more or less, she's more British than the damn Brits. So she's over there doing her thing, and then Madonna's doing her thing, so two ships passing in the night. I saw the long crane camera, so LA is a prior majority of filming because of this, hopefully Blu-rays. Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, it seemed like, because I know they've been filming around a lot of places, similar to what Beyonce did with the Renaissance tour, but I really feel like LA is going to be the primary spot, which would make sense. I mean, why not? I wish it was New York, but because that's where a lot of the situations happen with her sickness. But who knows? That might be a trigger. But it's good that she did LA, because it seemed like they really pulled out all the stops in regards of like the celebrity guests and the amount of celebrities that actually showed up in LA. Kind of made me wish I was there. When Madonna called Kylie a survivor, I'm sure she knew about. Of course, she knew. Madonna knows a lot of things. That's why I don't know. A lot of people was getting mad about Lufa, because I'm gonna leave that alone, because the Lufa fans might get mad. But just like they try to keep his queer life a secret, I would not be surprised if he had the high five. Kylie said she had a portable studio, so that she and she knows Logic. She really understands how to do a lot of the Pro Tools technical aspect of producing her vocals and stuff. So she can get Madonna in the studio and they can start working on some stuff. Get Richard Bibb Standards on to come up with the beat, or maybe Richard X. I do like Richard X. Well, if y'all don't know who that is, look him up. But because we're not getting Madonna and Child, we not getting Madonna and Cher. Hopefully, she doesn't take inspiration from the current political situation. Yeah, I don't need no. First of all, Kylie ain't gonna be down with that. Kylie is not somebody who jumps into anything political. Because you saw last night, if y'all saw, you saw the clip, right? Or I'm trying to remember if it. I probably didn't, because I didn't play the whole thing. There's a point where Madonna curses, and Kylie looks at her and starts laughing. Like her eyes pop over, and she starts laughing. So Kylie takes more. She's more squeaky clean in regards to her personality. I ain't saying she do it with her music, because her music does teeter on camp, but it's got a little edge and more experimental and stuff with the pop music. But Madonna is more aggressive with her her stance on a lot of things. So Kylie ain't getting up there cussing. So we're not gonna get. So I can't see them doing any kind of political song together or doing anything that's going to mess up her brand. To say how and Madonna will be smart enough to not want to drag someone else into whatever it. Like if you're going to stand on something, stand on your own. I don't want to drag other people into my stuff. Like I would be in her shoes. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. So I'm not going to drag Kylie up in there and then she catch a stray. This ain't Russell Simmons with Usher. That you already know that your image is what it is, and then you want to drag that boy up in there and put his pictures all over social media, talking about, oh, this is my friend, and he had my back. We ain't doing that. She's not gonna have Kylie catch a stray on her behalf. The right side almost beat your ass. She tells London on the confession, yeah, because it was like, she spent more time on the right side. Jonas Ackerman directed the Grammy-winning Confessions tour. Well, you know what? I'm glad she got him back because Confessions tour is one of my favorite tours to watch. Because it's like you get to see everything, and every now and again they'll throw a little slow-mo moment up in there. It wasn't as jarring as what was the tour that I felt irritated my damn spirit with the editing. It wasn't Madam X. I could actually sit through Madam X and watch that because it felt more like intimate in the theater. The tour she did before that, the Rebel Heart, hated the editing in that. Hated, hated, hated. I don't know who directed it. Hopefully it wasn't Jonas Arkelin. But yeah, that the editing in there irritated my spirit. Oh yeah. I did bring up the free content. The Vegas reviewer said she should have done the 80s and that's it. He also found the judging ballroom not so relevant or okay. First of all, I need to know the age of that Vegas reviewer because what the hell are you talking about? First of all, I didn't want to just hear her 80s hits. Maybe because you've bailed on her after that era. But for the most part, when I went to the New York concert, everybody enjoyed all the other songs. There were parts where they did sit down, Die Another Day. Everybody really wasn't that excited about, but I have to say the overall choreography, the laser lights, and all the other stuff that was really cool. So I didn't mind it. There was certain when she did, oh, what is it? Oh Mother, or is it Oh Father? Because I think they have two songs with the same similarity. But anyway, when she brings out David Banda and they show their mothers and stuff behind them, which I thought was a really great moment. People sat down during that. So there's certain songs they sit down for. And of course, when it comes to the old hits or whatever, everybody's gonna get up and start dancing. But I didn't mind any of the song choices. My only issue with the tour is the way it ends. I just felt like the closing out, because Madonna always gives you a great closeout in her tours. The ending of this tour just felt so anticlimactic. Who knows? Maybe it was intentional for it to feel that way because she's saying like she has so much to offer down the road. So it's like my story isn't over yet, so I'm gonna leave it open ended, or anticlimactic. So I don't know, but I just didn't like the way. I don't like how the tour closes. The final song choice. That I'm like, that's it. It's like Kylie was there for Women in Music. Yeah, so yeah, she's been running around in LA because there's a lot of stuff going on. And then the Oscars is this weekend too, which I'm excited about. I need to catch up on some of the movies because I gotta see, what was it, Better Things? I think it's the movie with Willem Dafoe and oh my god, Emma Stone. I see they just dropped that. And then I need to see Killers of the Flower Moon. I've been avoiding watching that movie because it's 3 hours of genocide of the Native Americans. So it's a lot for me to want to sit through that film. That's why I haven't really gone into it yet. It's not that I can't sit through a 3 hour movie, but I don't like watching genocide of anybody. So really gonna have to find the energy to watch the movie. But it's probably gonna be after the Oscars. I said Mother and Father. That's on Hulu. Oh, you talking about Better Things is on Hulu? Yeah, I think I saw that. That was up there. I already saw Oppenheimer, so I already know that movie's gonna clean up. And I found that movie. I was like, okay, y'all talking too much up in here. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I got on the Madonna Kylie situation. And child, I wish I was up in Brazil because I be getting my life with Madonna and I be getting some trade. Oh, you saw it? Oh, I said, what did I say? Little things? No, were we talking about Donald Trump's penis? Little things? Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Poor things. I didn't see that movie, but I saw that they dropped that on social media. But anyway, before I forget, because I was about to move on to the other topics, one of the things I wanted to get to, hold on, because let me take this out. Comments. That's got to come out. This banner's got to come out so I can move on to the next thing. But there was something I want to talk about. So there's this story that was coming out, and I've been seeing a lot of pundits and stuff talk about it, and a lot of them is not from New York. So I feel like I need to defend New York over this whole situation. So I don't know if y'all heard, but Eric Adams, who is our incompetent fucking mayor, and Kathy Hochul, who, I forget what she does, nor do I care. But oh wait, she does whatever. I'm just gonna continue. So she works with Eric Adams on a lot of stuff. So she has a lot to do with like dealing with the crimes and all this other stuff in New York. So anyway, so they're talking about crime is at an all-time high and people getting slashed, which is true. There was a train conductor who was slashed in the neck by someone. There is crime here and there that we hear about. However, whenever I take the train, I don't witness no crime. I'm not saying that crime doesn't exist, but for me, I haven't seen it. There be crime and stuff going on, but it's not as bad, in my opinion. It's just like the news and everything with their propaganda and all that other bullshit. So anyway, so Eric Adams and Kathy Hochul decided they were going to bring some National Guards to New York so that way everybody feels safe because crime is at an all-time high. And then I see people in the comments and stuff talking about, oh, it's the migrants, it's all the migrants. Yeah, that crippled motherfucker from Texas decided to ship on down here for us to deal with. And instead of us being like, you need to keep them people up in Texas and figure out what you're going to do with them. We just bringing them all here, and then it's starting a whole situation. Even though immigrants are the backbone of this country, quiet as it's kept. That and black folks, because if it wasn't for black slaves that y'all brought over on them ships, building the White House and those other places, y'all wouldn't have nothing to put y'all little salty behinds in. I'm talking about white folks, the racists, and all the other stuff. Not white people, but just the bigots, whatever. So they're out here. They've decided to put all this other stuff, but I feel like what this is more criminalization of black people, people of color. I'm hearing that they're checking bags, those other stuff, and people are all for it. They're like, "Oh well, I'm not gonna. I don't find it a problem as long as I feel safe or whatever in my situation. I'm not gonna." I was like, what are you talking about? First of all, here's the thing. What I don't understand, we got all these police, right, that they've put in the subways. They're on the platforms. Some of them get in certain cars, and then after a couple of stops, they get off, and I guess they go back to their other side, on the other side to go back to where they were stationed at before. I be going by Columbus Circle. I be seeing cops and they boss because he always wear a white shirt. I be seeing them on the platforms and all this other stuff. I be seeing the cops standing on the platform all day on their damn phone, not doing shit. So, or what I've been hearing is that they have some cops wearing like the MTA, the orange vest, like it's like you're doing construction, you're doing work in the tunnels or whatever. I be seeing them, they be wearing them, trying to disguise like they're not cops, but we know they are. So I don't understand like how you got all these NYPD officers there that's supposed to be making us feel safe, but then at the same time, you're bringing National Guards here with AK-47s patrolling some stuff. Now, what someone did say to me was that they feel that what if something happened that's at the extreme, like at the same rate of like 9/11, and they're not telling us? Well, if that's what that is, then I can understand y'all having the National Guards and stuff here and possibly like looking out just to make sure like no kind of terrorist attack or something's gonna happen, if that's what that is. But for me, it feels like it's a bunch of BS. I don't know why y'all got money for this, but you're cutting education, you're cutting opportunities for people like when it comes to like why are we raising the prices on the working or living wage? Why haven't we lowered the prices on apartments? Like you have to have $2,500 to get a 1-bedroom apartment in New York. So there's all these other things going on. Inflation is out of control in New York. Everything is so goddamn expensive right now. Like literally the other day I went and got like maybe 12 items from Pathmart, from Stop and Shop. It will always be Pathmart to me. I went to Stop and Shop, paid, it was almost $100. So I'm just like, why is everything so damn expensive? So I know I'm sure the current administration is working on trying to lower the prices and stuff on food and this, that, and the other. But that just irritated me. But one of my friends, DJ Baker, sent me this clip. And I was like, oh, I need to play this and it's from Olayemi Olurin. I think that's how you say her name. She's a movement lawyer and political commentator. And she was on some show. I don't even think it's on like CNN, MSNBC, all them other places, because this looked like one of them internet type shows or whatever. But I was like, she was spilling tea, so I don't think we'll get flagged. So I do have that clip. Wait, hold on, because I want to pull that up so that way, as a class, we can hear this and y'all know what the true tea is about why they doing this BS in New York. Because I feel like it's a waste of damn time. Like, I guess if y'all want to give the illusion and it's all political theater, then I can understand that. But to me, it's a waste of time.
Who is going to be affected if you're going to ban New Yorkers with criminal records from using the subway? How are the people who are in the criminal system and have to make court dates going to make it there? And this is going to turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy, because once people cannot use the subways, or people can't use the subways just because the amount of police there, the amount of congestion there, when people miss court dates, they're going to say, okay, we're going to send them the Rikers, and then they're going to use that to attack bail reform. And what I think is important about this is this has nothing to do with crime or stopping crime. By Kathy Hochul's own admission, she says that the National Guard is being deployed to act as a psychological reinforcement for New Yorkers. In other words, she knows that New Yorkers don't feel safe. That's what she says. They don't feel safe. It's not about the National Guard actually preventing crime, just making New Yorkers feel safer, which begs the question, why don't they feel safe? And it's because of propaganda that she and Mayor Eric Adams have spread, because by their own admission, and Spectrum has reported on this, the comptroller, the actual numbers is that crime has been down in the subways for years, and it remains at what it was. And Eric Adams himself tweeted yesterday that crime is down. And I think what's important here is, even if you believed that crime was up, even if you believed that they needed to address it, they added 1,000 officers to the subways in 2022. And evidently, according to them, who are saying that the subways are still dangerous, that did not work. So how does hiring 1,000 additional cops and deploying the National Guard help? And importantly, she recently passed a congestion tax. So now you wanted to incentivize people to use public transportation. You're passing a congestion tax that will negatively impact commuters and New Yorkers. And now they can't use the subways without being held up by 1,000 cops and the National Guard. This is a horrible publicity stunt.
Mhm. That's why I say it's a political theater. It's a publicity stunt. It's some bullshit. So I don't understand, because, like I said, all the times I've been on the trains, I don't see nothing. First of all, I've been a New Yorker all my life, so I already know how to handle myself in a situation. Maybe it's just these damn people, a lot of you migrants, and that is, or imports, I should call y'all, from, oh, I lived in Chicago and I lived in, Mesquite, Texas, or I lived like North Carolina, and I decided to move to New York to make a thing for myself, and I don't feel safe. And so, so it's probably one of those. Because us real New Yorkers, we know how to handle ourselves out here in these damn streets, especially when it comes to crime and all this other stuff. So I just hate the propaganda that a lot of these political people, especially this idiot mayor. I can't wait till we get his ass out. I can't stand that motherfucker. I don't even know how he became. Oh, I know why. Because a lot of people didn't vote. So that's what we wound up getting. A lot of people in New York didn't vote. I wanted Maya O'Reilly. That was who my choice was. But um, we wound up getting this clown. And ever since he been in office, he been doing dumb shit after dumb shit. I just don't like him and his arrogance about the way he comes across and stuff. It's like, I'm sorry, but I don't even think we've ever had a good black mayor. Even Dinkins was terrible, for what I was told. I wasn't old enough to vote for him, but but I'm just saying. So that's all I wanted to say on that, because I was like, I needed to defend New York in a way and let people know what the real tea is, especially because I'm from here, and I know it's a lot of people who aren't from New York and stuff have been, and other people have been talking about this. So I was like, I need to address this before we move on with the show. So I had to defend my city and say, okay, so Felix says it's like in Miami, they are trying to get people not to come here for spring break. And last night I saw on the news, people are complaining about yeah, and it's because the videos that I saw, and I can't speak for Florida because I don't live down there, but I know that since you live down there, you could speak on this. I don't live in Miami. The only person I know that could, I guess, speak on it would be a Funky Dineva, because he does live in Miami. Um, but from what I know is what I see on TV. And that's why I said a lot of times what you see on TV ain't always the truth. That's why I had to show y'all that clip so that way y'all know what the tea is. It's like, I don't understand. Y'all be having so many NYPD officers all over the trains and stuff, but how is it that if that's not enough to assure people that they're safe, so we need to have a bunch of, you know, guys walking around in military gear and AK-47. You see them all through Penn Station. I be seeing them every time because I work over there by Madison Square Garden. So it's just like, I see them coming out of Penn Station with their guns and stuff on the side, and these Coast Guards or whatever the case was. So I just don't understand, like, how does that make us feel more safer? Like, one of my friends said, "Oh, y'all got it. Y'all are lit out there in New York." He said, y'all got cheerleaders because the NYPD, because they so mentally whatever, they going through their mental situation. So to let off stress, they created this cheerleading team. Child, if y'all see the way they dance, you're gonna be like, y'all need to pull the funds off this shit. And what I find funny is that, oh, they got money for that, but you out here closing libraries on the weekends, which is what kids need if they're gonna do their homework. So I don't understand. The math ain't math, and y'all putting money into the dumbest things and cutting things that people really need. So it's just stupid. I can't wait till we get somebody in office that actually knows what they're doing and gives a damn about New York, because New York has got out of control. But the thing to get back to what Felix said, in Miami and stuff, I'm thinking that it was because they said that the people was out there jumping on cars and destroying property and acting a fool. And I do know, like, when it comes to tourism, a lot of these kids, especially with spring break, a lot of y'all don't know how to act when y'all get up out the goddamn house. Like, we just saw that at the Super Bowl when Patrick Mahomes' team won, there was a shooting and they killed what was she, a reporter, a producer, or something or another? She wound up being one of the casualties. So it's like people don't know how to act when y'all out in the street. So that I can understand. Like, maybe that's why they want to have all them cops out there to make sure y'all act right. If y'all wasn't acting like, you ain't never been out the house, like your parents had y'all kept in a cage for 360 days out of the year, because I would say the 5 y'all gonna spend a week in Florida. So if y'all wasn't acting like that, then we wouldn't be in these situations. But I don't know. If y'all live down in Florida, I mean, do they be acting the fool and stuff like that? So that's what I've been wanting. But Felix did said there was a shooting on South Beach last year, so they trying to prepare. And then you also said, yeah, look at what happened with fast food. It's almost like $20 to go get something to eat. Yeah, that's why I'm like, well, fast food has always been sort of like a treat for me. Like, when that whole debate that I had on my social media about what was it? It was There was a overall complaint about Five Guys and how Five Guys is expensive. Usually, when I go to Five Guys, it's not too far from my gym, so they be in my job. So sometimes if I'm like out and I want to get something real quick, I'll get Five Guys. You can get you the double patty with bacon, lettuce, mayonnaise, onions, pickles, mayo, ketchup, all that good stuff on it, and that should be hitting too, because that good beef. But I heard like their food is like, help. Well, it's like the meat isn't like processed. They don't put all that crazy stuff in. It ain't like McDonald's. Like, I don't know what the hell that meat made out of. But so you get the meat, and then if you get a small fry, the best thing I love about Five Guys is the fact that you get a small fry. It's like you ordered a large, because they give you extra fries in the bag. So that's what I love about Five Guys. And then overall, I think it comes out to like what? I think I pay like $20, which is not bad, because I don't come with a drink. Usually I always got water in my bag. So I just drink that. But I totally get it. It's like, yeah, food is expensive. Like, you go to Shake Shack. One thing that do not really need to be expensive is shit Chipotle. I don't know why the fuck y'all expensive. Y'all not even real Mexican food. So I don't understand that. Yeah. And that was another thing too, is that we got him and we gonna get him again if people don't get out there and vote. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got my issues with Biden. I'm very much team Palestine and free Gaza. I want the ceasefire. If you watch me on my social media platform, you know how I feel about this whole Israel Gaza situation. But child, if I got a choice between Biden, even though it would be nice if we could have had like some other up and coming hungry Democrats that want to come in and because people out here automatically assuming they deserve to do 8 years. It would be nice if there could be a thing where other people come up and they challenge Biden and be like, I got some ideas. We try to progress and move the country in a better direction. I'd be all for that. But if I had a choice between Biden and Trump for another 4 years, after that man damn near gave me a bunch of grays, even though I don't have any gray hair, but I'm just saying, trust and believe my ass would be voting for Biden again. So when I see people in the comments on my timeline and stuff with that propaganda bullshit talking about, well, Biden, with the whole thing with the State of the Union last night and doing little laugh emojis on other people's comments, it's like, okay, so are you a Trump supporter? Because sometimes I wonder, like, you go in on the libs more than you go on the opposite side. And child, your ass an immigrant, so I don't even understand. And I'm sure y'all know who I'm talking about if you read my show. I mean, if you be following me on social media. But anyway, oh. Roro's in the building say he loves the political movement segment. Well, you know what? Maybe I need to do a little more political stuff because sometimes I be wondering, I'm like, should I just only give celebrity news and gossip? But look, I need to show all facets of my brain that I'm not just going to talk about celebrities. I think that I like to project myself as being or see myself as well rounded. So why not bring up politics as well as celebrity news and gossip and stuff? Because to me, it just feels like we need some. I wish we had more people on the internet or doing shows where they were multifaceted and not just talking about celebrity news and gossip and they barely do research on that. Yeah, I'm throwing shade and I'm throwing all the strays at the Breakfast Club. That's what I'm talking about. They be over there talking celebrity news and gossip, don't do the research, doing political stuff, don't know what the hell they talking about. So maybe I do need to do it. Maybe I will add some more political stuff up there since the people's is liking it. But anyway. I only did 2 segments and we're almost an hour in, probably because I'm reading all these comments. But anyway, because look, the next time y'all probably won't get a show until Monday because I'm going to be busy this weekend. So, but anyway, let's move on. And I got a Scream update. So, one of the core fours, Mason Gooding, has come out and said that Scream 7 might not be dead after all. I mean, I thought we pretty much knew that, but let's entertain it. So, as Scream 7, this is according to Variety, as Scream 7 continues to be reworked after a series of setbacks that saw cast members and the director leaving the project, star Mason Gooding is confident the movie will still get made, saying, if it could make money, I guarantee you they'll make it. The actor told Variety at Vanity Fair and Instagram's pre-Oscars Vanities party on Wednesday night at Bar Maman in West Hollywood. But Gooding, who played Chad Meeks Martin in the last 2 Scream movies, insists he's not in the loop of where things stand today, saying it's one of those things where you wait to hear from the people that make the big decisions. Now, we already spoke about it. Speaking of, Gaza, Israel, that sort of thing, Melissa Barrera got fired by Spyglass because she was posting things about the Israel-Hamas war, and they said it was anti-Semitic, which I'm sorry to say was not. I think I understand what the definition of anti-Semitism is. Anti-Semitic. What she said was not anti-Semitic. A lot of times, you get a lot of people up here that want to sit and throw that word around because to me, it's a code word for something else. So it's like, oh yeah, it was anti-Semitic. Bash her, ban her. She's evil. She's saying something that's anti-Jewish, and that's not what it is. Because you're trying to say in so many ways when y'all went and threw that on her, you made it seem like, oh well, so Jewish lives are way more important than Palestinian lives. That's what you're saying to me because a couple of hundred people got kidnapped, whereas we have over 30,000 Palestinians dead in Gaza. So the math ain't mathing. And I'm not sitting here I'm not trying to go in a way where I'm trying to measure death as one is more important than the other, because that's clearly what they was doing over there. But I just didn't like the fact that they just painted her with this brush and made her come across like what she said was anti-Semitic when it wasn't. Because I looked at all this and we did a whole breakdown of it when it all transpired. I pulled the clips of all this stuff, and clearly that's not what it was. So and then you remember Jenna Ortega dropped out because she said she was filming Beetlejuice, and then she had to do Wednesday season 2. So they were trying to say the scheduling conflict thing. I'm still not buying that, but we'll go along with it because you know how Hollywood is. And then remember, Christopher Landon, the director. I was so excited when I heard that he was going to be a part of this because his style of filmmaking, especially with the movies that he's done with Freaky and Happy Death Day, didn't particularly care for Happy Death Day Part 2. But when he's a lot of his movies and stuff, and I did love what is it, Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, I think was the name of it. I love that movie too. I saw that in the theater, but it wasn't like it was just something because I worked at AMC at the time and I was just looking for something to watch. And I was like, let me just watch this movie. I didn't think it was going to be good, but I just needed something to kill time. So I watched it. I was like, oh, this movie's actually pretty good. So that's when I got into his stuff. But then he quit because people was harassing him. People was threatening his kids. and him and all this other stuff over what had happened with Spyglass. I said, but wait a minute. First of all, that wasn't his decision. He's the director coming in with his own ideas and all this other stuff surrounding by what he wants to do with the Scream franchise. And I thought with him being a part of it, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get a good damn Scream movie. Even though I did like some of the pieces of what is it Radio? Yeah, Radio Silence did. I had to remember who it was for a second. Radio Silence, what they did, there were certain parts of the Scream films that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So I was hoping, like, with him coming, with Christopher Landon, I was like, he's gonna make this shit more redeemable. Maybe get rid of that damn plot armor because that shit was getting me tight. So with him being gone, I was like, well, damn, this movie is fucked. But I didn't think in a million years that we weren't going to get another Scream. Obviously, we're going to get another Scream. They were going to take some time away, figure out what they're going to do, and give us, um, you know, a good movie. And in my opinion, what I got to say on that is that, because Gooding basically said it's all about keeping up with what feels like is the best movie for the fans. Scream doesn't exist without the people who enjoy it as much as if people want it, they will certainly try their best to see it happen. And while that may be true, I don't think Spyglass is looking at it in that way. They're just looking at it as they're making so much money and they're just going to do whatever they want to do with it. Now, outside, I don't know, I can't speak on the outside of people like, but just regular people would just be so excited to see a new Scream movie. But as far as somebody who I guess is in the bubble and has been a fan of this franchise since the very first one, I've been on this journey with Sydney, Gale, Dewey, and all of them throughout the years until they went and killed him off in Scream 5. I'm still mad about that, but I've come to terms with it. um there was certain, there were certain decisions that like I said, when Radio Silence made, I wasn't exactly happy about. But the way that they're running things at this point, I just want a good scary movie with some interesting characters and no plot armor. That's all I want from Scream 7. So hopefully they figure it out, they get it together, and we finally get us a good damn movie. Because I don't know, at the end of the day, I guess if people see a trailer, they'll probably just be like, oh, this movie looks cool, and they'll go and see it. But one of the things I've been hearing stuff about, and I should have included this, but now since I remember, I'll include it. I'm actually looking forward to this I Know What You Did Last Summer legacy sequel that I've been hearing stories about, because I was watching a couple of the pundits on YouTube. Critical Overlord was one of them, and there was oh my god, I forgot who the other guy was that they did one. But they were talking about how, like, because the director, I forget her name, but she's talking about how she's a huge fan of the original one, the second one. When I first saw the second one of the movies, my uncle and his girlfriend at the time took me, my sister, I think took all of us to, like, me, my brother and sister, to see I Still Know What You Did Last Summer in the theater. And I was excited because I loved the first one. And when I was a kid, I didn't know no better. But when you rewatch that movie is so bad. It really is. It's terrible. But I do enjoy certain scenes in that movie, especially, my girl Brandy, a black girl they didn't kill. So, but I really hope that maybe they can retcon that sequel and still bring Brandy back and as like the friend. I would love to see Brandy come back as Carla. But anyway, I do like the idea they've been coming up with about this whole legacy sequel. They didn't really get in the details of it, but they're insinuating that what this new sequel may be about is the fact that they're bringing social media and all that other stuff into the situation. And because of what, I guess something similar happens to these new core group of friends where there's a car accident or whatever the case is, and it kind of harkens back to what happened with Julie James and her friends and her boyfriend when they got in that accident. They hit Ben Willis, but it wasn't Ben Willis. It was Ben Willis. It was somebody else. I think it was. I forget who it was that they actually, because I always forget. It's been a while since I've seen it. So, with that being said, so it harkens back to that, and then they're thinking social media because of what happened with Julie James back in the day. Past comes back to haunt them, and people with TikToks and social media where they start digging up things. Oh, this happened back in the day, and they're making videos and other stuff, and they're going to incorporate that in the new movie. So that's kind of like the details of the direction they might be going in. I'm excited, so I just wanted to bring that up just so that way y'all will know that that's coming. Okay, so now let's move on and talk about soaps maybe making a comeback to network TV, and we getting a black soap So that's why I definitely want to talk about this. So on Wednesday, CBS and the NAACP announced that the first Black daytime soap in over 35 years is currently in development for the network. Now, CBS is developing a soap opera about a wealthy family that could become the first daytime TV drama with a predominantly Black cast in decades. The project is called The Gates, and it follows the lives of a wealthy Black family living in a posh, gated community. Oh, I'm definitely going to watch that, child. And look, I say this, as long as it's not written, produced, edited, or or styled by Tyler Perry, I'm definitely watching it. Now, the show is said will be produced by a CBS studio and NAACP production venture in partnership with P&G Studios, a division of Procter and Gamble. The Gates will be written by Emmy-winning daytime veteran Michael Valjean, who is on the Bold. I guess he did the Bold and the Beautiful, and it said who will also serve as showrunner. Valjean has also written more than 2,000 episodes of daytime, so he knows exactly what what it takes to pull a daytime TV show together. And look, the last time we had a daytime show, because I was going to say this was, I remember Generations back in 1989. Vanessa Bell Calloway was on there. Vivica Fox was on that show. I still remember that fight, and I only remember it because not because it came out in '89. I would not remember that far back. Number one, but number two is because there's clips of it all over YouTube. So that's how I remember seeing the clips of that infamous fight. It's on YouTube. I've seen it on TikTok. I've seen it on Instagram. Like when you go on any of the social medias, you look it up, you definitely see that iconic fight between, I believe it was Vanessa Bell Calloway and Vivica Fox. So a lot of people, a lot of Black actors came up in Generation, even though it was a short-lived series. So I actually like this idea. And what it actually said is that, and then look, we have other shows. Look, Empire. I remember when that show was on, it was a huge hit, but it was a primetime soap opera. It wasn't a daytime soap opera, and that show was good until they started to go off the rails a little bit, and then the whole Jussie Smollett situation. So we had that, and look, Black people watch, even though I say it's terrible, and I do believe it is, y'all watch a lot of that stupidity that Tyler Perry puts together, Sisters and the stripper show that he has and all that other mess. And then, we have the Real Housewives of Atlanta, even though that's kind of fallen off and they're getting a reboot. We have Married to Medicine, which just ended its season, and they just showed their part one reunion. I haven't gotten around to watching it yet, but I need to. And speaking of which, I gotta watch the finale of The Traitor so I can find out who won. Because that aired last night, and I need to watch it. I saw it was trending, and I didn't want to look to see who won. But The Traitors, that show was lit. So, and we have, like I said, we have Married to Medicine. We got all the Tyler Perry crap. We have what else? We had the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So Black content is definitely what people want to watch. And it says the Gates will be everything we love about daytime drama from a new and fresh perspective. This is what Sheila Ducksworth said, who is the president of CBS Studios, NBC, NAACP venture. And this series will salute an audience that has been traditionally underserved, with the potential to be a groundbreaking moment for broadcast television. With multi-dimensional characters, juicy storylines, and Black culture front and center, the Gates will have impactful representation. One of the key touchstones of the venture. I'm glad to develop this project with CBS and P&G, two of the longest and most passionate champions of broadcasted daytime television. So this does sound like a good idea. I just hope that they execute it and it's a good show. And look, don't we only got like 3 soap operas left on TV? Maybe they need to bring that back. So I do think there's a hunger for it because look, Andy Cohen with his live mess, he has been able to incorporate, like, that is the modern day soap opera. So who knows? I think there is an audience for that because my mother still watches soap operas, even though it's one. She only watched General Hospital. She's the ABC girl. She was all about what was it? Loving the City, All My Children. Don't forget Ryan's Hope. One Life to Live, and General Hospital. That was her stories. But we only got 3 left. So it's The Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, and General Hospital. But Days of Our Lives is, it's on Peacock. It's not on NBC no more. And then they tried to bring back All My Children, One Life to Live on online, but it didn't work out. So, and I've been hearing rumors that they were talking about bringing back One Life to Live and All My Children. I wish they would, because I used to live for when I was a kid, and when I used to get in trouble with school and I got suspended, I had to stay with this lady named Miss Jessie. May she rest in peace. And I used to have to sit with her and watch, her game shows. You know, older black women. I had to sit and watch her game shows, and I had to sit and watch what was her stories? Days of Our Lives. So yeah, I used to have to sit and watch Marlena be possessed by demons and shit. Sat through all of that growing up. So and when the original Bo, that fine ass mother, I was like, child, something working between me down there because I'm like, this fine ass man on the screen. It was him, and then we had Billy Reed, I think was her last name, played by Lisa Rinna before all that damn shit she put in her face. So I remember Lisa Rinna them back in the day. So anyway, let me get out of memory lane. Speaking of lanes, I miss Wisteria Lane. Remember Desperate Housewives? They didn't bring that back. But anyway, so let's move on and talk about Kimora Lee throwing shade at her ex-husband. Now we posted this thing the other day of Uncle Russ out in Bali doing his Nambioho Renge Kyo. He on his, he's in his Nambioho Renge Kyo era and doing yoga and all that stuff. So Usher happened to be out there and doing the whole yoga retreat and stuff with him. But instead of just keeping it between them, instead of Uncle Rush keeping it on the hush, he decided I'm going to post it on social media because and this is, in my opinion, he was doing this for clout. Because I feel like a lot of times y'all throw that clout word around a little too damn much. And I'm like, that's not what clout is. But this felt like a clout chaser moment. And to me, it was just like, why Usher had to catch that damn straight? Usher been unproblematic out here for the longest. He ain't do nothing to nobody. He been out here releasing his music. He just got off a high of the Super Bowl situation. He just released a new album. He did a Vegas residency. He be out here dipping and doing it. He just got married. And here you go with this foolishness. So anyway, Russell Simmons, and he also recently got hit with another rape allegation in a lawsuit filed by a former Def Jam employee. And this was about a month ago. But then here you go with this foolishness. And then he showed a photo of him meeting up with Usher, and his new wife was there too. Now, after catching wind of her ex-husband's past detailing his meeting with Usher, Kimora Lee Child jumped on the line. I should probably pull this up, courtesy of the Shade Room. Please hold. It takes a minute because I got to share this with you bitches. But anyway, yeah, Kimora Lee threw, she came out guns blazing. She said, "What is this I'm seeing in the news today? LOL, y'all some wild boys for real, for real." I said, not by my bed, LOL. And so yeah, so this was this whole picture and everything that he brought up and talking about how Usher was by his side when he was at his lowest and all that other stuff. But I'm like, love your friend. Look, even if you know your friend, but look, child, quiet as it's kept. Usher been around a lot of problematic ass men growing up as a child in this industry, particularly Diddy and Uncle Russ, and I'm sure quite a few other problematic ass men that probably ain't even being mentioned right now. But to me, when she says this, I'm like, it's trying to imply some things that has been going on in the industry that she might know about with her ex-husband, but then quiet as it's kept. Last time, I remember people saying that Kimora got with Russell when she was real young. And so some of that stuff could be believable about, him with young people or whatever, young girls, young boys, whatever the case was. She got with him, she married him, she knew what was going to become like you transition from being a model to being a mogul. Remember when she had baby fat and all that other stuff? She was a whole part of his whole Fat Farm brand and all that other stuff. So I would not be surprised that Kimora would know where a lot of the bodies is buried. But sis, you better watch it because you don't want to be out here saying too much. Because remember, did he, people said stuff about him and cars got blown up and Kim Porter is no longer with us. And you implied some stuff with that when your friend passed away or died. Same thing. Death, passed away, whatever. So you just got to be careful with what you put out here in these streets. So I know she want to say something. Say that for your memoir. Because what Russell going to do to you? He all the way in Bali. So I was like, girl, write the book and spill all the tea. Because remember, she went in on her ex last year, I believe, her and Aoki, because he ain't been doing what he need to be doing as a father, I guess, giving child support payments or whatever the case was. Are they young enough to still be getting child support? I thought they was like way in their 20s, but I don't know what the age limit is for that. But I would assume like if you like 25, you don't need no more child support. But I know Britney kids, that child support was supposed to be cut off at 18 or 19, whatever the case was. Then all of a sudden, her fat ass ex-husband decided to move his ass over to Hawaii, and they told me that you could expand on that. So I don't know, Kimora. Let's protect her at all costs because I know she know where all them dead bodies is buried that Uncle Russ done buried. And I'm not talking about physical bodies. I'm talking about his dirt. Like I know she knows some things, and I want to know the tea because I'm nosy. So that's all I got on that. But let's move on to the comments. And you will definitely be clutching out. I heard some people was gagging, so I may be clutching my pearls tonight. But when I do another show next week, I will probably bring up the Traders finale. But anyway, so it's I hear Lisa Rinna is one of the grand marshals at Miami Beach Pride next month. Her and Billy Porter and Sasha Colby is going to perform. Billy Porter, Billy Porter getting around because isn't he doing? Damn, what was the Pride that we mentioned on the show a couple of weeks ago in London that I think he's going to be? Well, the UK that he's going to be doing. It's going to be him. It's going to be Girls Aloud is performing. Mika's performing. So it's going to be a lot of the gays and the allies is going to be out there performing and stuff. So that's going to be look. Billy Porter been making his coin because she out here talking about she broke and putting that $2.5 million house on Long Island up for sale. So she going to be doing these pride events, singing them half-ass songs from that album, Black Mona Lisa. But and shout out to Sasha Colby because that's my I love me some Sasha Colby. I thought Usher was doing good. I hadn't heard anything bad about him. Yeah, he's not. The thing is about Usher is not. He's not probably. I done heard the rumors that Russell Simmons was the one that gave him the H. Y'all know what the H is? The itchy ya ya da da. The thing where you get the sores. Her yeah. Y'all know what the H is. Because didn't they say he also gave her the chili? But you ain't hear that from me. But anyway, let's move on and talk about Camila Cabello, who apparently is revealing why she quit Fifth Harmony. I think she's probably didn't she talk about this before? This is similar to the story that we're gonna talk about with well not similar, but this is the same thing I feel like we're gonna be talking about with what the hell is her name? Oh my god, did I not pull that up? What is that girl's name? Halle Bailey. And she's sitting here still talking about why she kept her baby a secret or whatever. And I'm like, girl, first of all, um, you beating a dead horse at this point. But anyway, so in a new episode of the Call Her Daddy podcast, Camila Cabello was open up about why she decided to leave Fifth Harmony. Now, amid the news that the girl group may be reuniting, which we all found out that is not true. In page 6, y'all still standing 10 toes down on that tea. But it came out that they're not reuniting. That they all going on doing their individual things. Like, look, we got Miss Mama's Camila teasing a new era of music. She done died. She did the typical pop star thing. Oh, I gotta dye my hair blonde. Can we get some individuality? Why everybody gotta go fucking blonde? Like, can y'all be individual? Like, what's wrong with being brunette? So she out here dyeing her hair. Her hair gonna break off like Ariana's did back in the day when she kept dyeing her hair on that Nickelodeon show. Or was it the Disney Channel that Ariana was on? But anyway, so she revealed on the podcast that why she decided to depart the band and focus on her solo career. She said, I started distancing myself from the group vision, and it felt like, they were still really passionate into that. And so I was just like, I'm not happy here anymore. It doesn't feel aligned. This is what she told Alex Cooper. I can remember waking up on tour and going to my hotel room at like 7 a.m. and going to my garage band and like writing songs because I didn't want to do it while everybody was there. And I had such a passion that turned into writing. Now, she originally thought she would write for other artists. Cabello, who's 27, said she eventually changed her mind and wanted to write and perform her own lyrics. Now, after leaving Fifth Harmony, she went on to have several top 10 hits, including Havana, Never Be the Same, and Senorita, which she sang with her ex, Shawn Mendes. I still feel like she was a bid for his ass, but that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. Now it says that Cabello looks back at her time with former X Factor competitors turned bandmates, Normani, Ali Brooks, Dinah Jane, Lauren, and Lauren with fondness. So I feel like I can really focus on and remember the really joyful times, and I grew a lot in that group. So there you have it. She just felt like, you know what, she wanted to go off and do her own thing and write. And I feel like, you know what, that's always that makes a whole lot of sense. Like at some point, it's like you don't want to be beholden to a group or a band for the rest of your life. The good thing about being in a group or a band is the fact that you can fall back on other people. So it's like if I need to do, you know, promotions and all this other stuff, it's five of us sitting up here. I don't have to sit and answer every damn question. I don't have to do all this other stuff. Like we could split it up and everybody else, you know, I can rely on everybody else behind me. I can hide behind them in so many ways. Although I'm in the front and I'm kind of like, you know, the standout, but I'm gonna still allow everybody else to handle what they need to handle. Excuse me. But so she said that that's what she wanted to do, and she said she told the girls because a lot of people felt like she betrayed them and she wasn't really forthcoming in regards of, you know, what the reason why she left the group and all this other stuff. But I'm like, you know what? If you feel in your heart that you want to go off and do other things, then I don't see a problem with that. But I know a lot of people felt like the way she went about things was a little shady. So that's what it was. And she said they've been supportive of each other through DMs and stuff. She loves that word like a lot, but I guess maybe because she's in her 20s. Okay, so we got comments and hers is she done already done had hers is Camila boring indeed. That's why you think I spent like less than 5 minutes on that story. But I just want to put that out there because you know all the tea and stuff was coming out. But anyway, let's move on because she is boring. And talk about Andy Cohen coming out and saying that he did not snort no damn booger sugar with no damn Real Housewives. But he ain't say he ain't snort no booger sugar in general. But let's continue. So Andy Cohen, executive producer of Bravo's Real Housewives franchise and the host of his nightly talk show, Watch What Happens Live, has fired back against allegations made in a lawsuit by Leah McSweeney, a former cast member of the Real Housewives of New York City. Now, according to Page Six, Cohen is calling former Real Housewives of New York City star Leah McSweeney's bombshell lawsuit against him a shakedown. Shake her down. I tell you, a shakedown. And claims that McSweeney is trying to force an unjustified settlement with the Bravo host. But McSweeney's attorneys told Page Six that his response is just an attempt to bully alleged victims like McSweeney into silence. Now, McSweeney's suit, filed late last month, alleged that Cohen likes to snort the cocaine with some of the Housewives stars, and that he's part of a group of people who try to exploit her substance issues and mental health struggles in a cynical attempt to drive up ratings. But working in reality TV, isn't that what they do? That's why y'all gotta be careful when y'all dot your I's and cross your T's on them contracts, because you really got to know what you're going to get yourself into when you do these reality shows. It's the price of fame, unfortunately, or infamy. But Cohen's lawyer calls the cocaine allegations categorically false and writes in a letter to McSweeney's legal team seen by Page Six. Mr. Cohen never used cocaine with any cast member on any Real Housewives show or any other Bravo employee. Now, McSweeney's lawsuit claims that Cohen, who's 55, who is also executive producer of Roni and its spinoff, the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, engages in booger sugar use with housewives that he employs, and that Cohen's proclivity for booger sugar usage with his employees is well known throughout the it ain't just well known throughout the Real Housewives franchise. Like, we know the tea. And here's the thing. Now, what I want to know is that when was this smoke when Kathy Griffin spilled this tea a couple of years ago? That's what I want to know. Because remember, once upon a time, like after she done lost out on the gig, the New Year's Eve gig, which, child, I'm sorry, but y'all need to bring her back, because Andy, the two Andys together is not giving what needs to be given. But CNN wants mediocrity. Let them have their mediocrity over there with that. I don't watch it. Quite as it's kept, I don't watch any of these New Year's shows. I find all of them to be boring. The Ryan Seacrest one, the Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper one, like, it's all boring to me. I'd rather go out to a club and bring in the new year and make out with some menses and just drink myself into a stupor. That's what I'd rather do on New Year's instead of watching them boring ass white people on TV. And I miss when Don Lemon was on there. Because Don Lemon, when he was lit, he was a cackle. But y'all want him getting rid of him too. But look, he got his life. He got that 25 million settlement from CNN when that shit they pulled. And then now he's over at the Twitter with his own talk show. I don't know when it's going to air, but it's coming. So When was the smoke with Kathy Griffin when she spilled this tea about it a couple of years? Did he ever say anything? I don't recall him ever saying anything on that. I can't remember everything, but I'm just curious because he said he never did anything with the housewives, but I don't know if that might be hard for me to believe because the same guy who says, "Oh, I didn't do no booger sugar with the Real Housewives," is the same guy who, once upon a time, not that long ago, basically propositioned. He said it was in jest, but he propositioned Brandy Glanville to wanting to watch him in a threesome via FaceTime. So I don't know what to believe when it comes to Andy. And this is what I said. Now, why I said this is why when you're in a position of power, when you're a boss, you can't be too friendly and mingling with your coworkers or the people that look at you and revere you as their boss. So they're going to do whatever and go along whatever and kiss your behind because that's what Andy wants. That has always been the story for years that he kind of presents himself in this way where it's like he gets the housewives to fight amongst each other or he wants who's Andy's fave? Is it Dorinda this week? Is it Kyle next week? Is it Dorit the following week? Well, he's always yawning every time she talks with her long-winded ass. So, I mean, who's his favorite this week? Is it Lisa Vanderpump in 2 weeks from now? Like, it's always seemed to be like this tug of war when it comes to trying to get Andy's affection and all this other stuff. So he's positioned himself to be in this way where he's Daddy Warbucks and everybody around him is the orphans cleaning his house and licking his taint and shining his shoes. And so when you in that position, she just like, oh, I'm not gonna let this man bully me no more. Now I don't know if it's true or the stuff he said, but from over the years of watching the behavior and the drug use that we've heard of with him, especially when he openly admitted with what the hell was it? With John Mayer, when John Mayer asked me, he was like, what's the most extreme drug you tried? I maybe paraphrasing, but that was basically what the question was. Paraphrasing the exact words, but So he was like Molly. He did Molly and did cocaine in Molly. I ain't never tried no damn Molly. Now I did an e-pill, but I never did no Molly. Because I'm like, first of all, we do like I grew up with ecstasy. I'm not doing nobody's Molly. Only Molly I knew was from the movie Ghost. Molly, you in danger, girl. That's the only Molly I know, child. So now what did it say? So addressing McSweeney's attorney, the letter adds the allegations were obviously made up by you and / your client to have maximum tabloid clickbait value in the hopes of weaponizing these false allegations along with other lies that permeate the complaint as leverage to force an unjustified settlement. It will not. Instead, the conduct only subjects you and your client to independent and substantial legal exposure. The letter adds that an allegation of drug use in the workplace is a serious charge and also claims that your reason for inventing the false allegations in the first place to create a media frenzy and pressure in an attempt to force a settlement. The letter also accused McSweeney suit of unfairly trying to gin up media coverage and adds these allegations are missing every detail, including the who, where, and when. And that's what I want to know too. Like if you're gonna come out and say some like with a lawsuit, because Caroline Manzo got a lawsuit against Bravo too, especially what happened with her and Brandy on Ultimate Girl Trip. I don't even know if we still gonna get that season. Probably not. But Caroline Manzo got a lawsuit against Bravo. Doesn't Brent not Brent. Well, Brandy doesn't Brandy have a lawsuit too? I think she does. And then Bethany. The reality reckoning, the TV reckoning is coming. I don't know what happened to her reckoning, but it was coming. I don't know where it went, but she said it was coming. We ain't heard from her since. So there's a lot going on with this. I'm gonna definitely keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops, and because this is a hot ass mess. So there's that. All right, so let's get to the comments. Um, don't forget the Madonna shaded Gen Z and Camila. Oh yeah, I remember that. I brought that that clip that we played. She was like, the shade. First of all, that outfit Madonna was wearing was horrible, but also, because she looked like she was a gypsy about to cast a spell on somebody or something. But when Camilla won that award, I know she was just like, I'm gonna just leave this Like my shady ass, I just put this thing on the podium. I just be like, girl, go pick that shit up. Don't hug me. Don't say hello. I don't even know how you are a thing. Like you don't have what it takes to be that girl. And that's the thing too. That's you know what? And I always keep forgetting to bring this up whenever I talk about Camila and Fifth Harmony. Fifth Harmony, in my opinion, was not that group. They were not that. Y'all were not them girls to me. Yeah, and, you know, we all love Normani, and she be giving when needs be given. But at the same time, me, I was more or less into Little Mix. I was more or less into Girls Aloud. Like in America, if we go and talk about girl groups, Destiny's Child was it for me because that's my childhood. Um, who else? The Spice Girls, even though they're from the UK. Um, what other girl? Well, I should probably stick to America. We're not. We'll leave the other girl because you know British girl groups will always give me what needs to be given, and you know more so than American groups. But if I had to choose girl groups that gave me my life, even though it was for a short period of time, but Destiny's Child did put out more music than the most. I will say Destiny's Child. I will say Pussycat Dolls because you know I was going through my slut era. Probably still am, and who's the other girl? Oh, Danity Kane. Child, now, say what you want about Diddy and all that, but Danity Kane has some bops, especially Welcome to the Dollhouse. I wore that damn CD out when that album came out. So that's my girl group era. I can't remember no other girl groups on the top of my head, but if y'all can remember some girl groups, and I'm not gonna say no damn Seduction with Michelle Visage. But yeah, I remember that. And it said no, Andy tried to pull a I don't know her with Kathy. Oh yeah, and you know, he did some shady shit. He said, I've done acid, ecstasy, coke, never did. Oh no. First of all, one of the things I've always been, first of all, I don't like needles. I mean, I tolerate needles when I gotta get blood drawn from the doctor. So even at that time, that's the only time I could tolerate a needle. I'm not somebody who's like needle shy or squeamish or scared of them. I'm just like, just get the shit done and over with. I don't like nothing being pricked in my arm. None of that shit. But anyway, I have done ecstasy, never did acid, but I do know friends who have done K, where it was just like they was like in their head, they was having a good old time, like jumping around. Mind you, they holding on to the speaker, and this was at the Sound Factory. This is stories that I've been told. They hold on to the speaker like this, but in their mind, they jumping around having a good old time. So they was in a K hole. So I know friends who've done harsher drugs than me because you know the club scene, the whole era when you going to like when you would witness DJs like DJ Rohofer, Junior Vasquez, a lot of those type of DJs. That's what the gays was doing back when New York was lit with the clubs. So um but I've tried ecstasy and I've done look, I ain't gonna lie, I've done booger sugar. Shit. I used to do it a lot when I was in the circus. Cause what else was there to do? So my nose is still intact. But you know, it was every now and again. Like I'm not somebody who partakes of a lot, so I don't even drink that much anymore. Like I think I probably got all that damn shit out of my system. But anyway, enough about me and my stuff. But look, unlike certain people, I will admit the stuff that I do. 'Cause I just smoke weed now and drink every so often. Same. It said there are no girls allowed Spice Girls. Yeah, TLC. I almost forgot about them too. TLC was my group too when I was growing up. So it said there's no Girls Allowed, Spice Girls, TLC, and Little Mix, even PCD. Stream the Girls Allowed second album reissue with brand new music remixes. I have it on my phone. I grew up with the Cover Girls, In Vogue, Salt and Pepper. Yeah, those were the girl groups that I grew up on too when I was little, and I would hear In Vogue, Salt and Pepper, SWV, Escape, all of them on the radio. I remember I told y'all about the what was it? Very Necessary was the album. And they had that little skit about one of the girls want to get HIV from her man. I wrote a whole little play around that skit for my when I was in school. So yeah, Salt and Pepper was it back in the day. So Banana Rama, though they're not as manufactured, given that Sarah and Karen are best friends since grade school, which is like 50 years, as they're celebrating 40 years of group with a new greatest hit set. Um, did Banana Rama do that girl? That song. You know, I do this on purpose. I'm your penis. I'm your vagina. Your desire. You know, I like to remix songs to make it funny. So I'm like, did they do that song? I'm your penis. I'm your vagina. Your desire. Anyway, so speaking of musicians, let's talk and penises. Let's talk about Maluma, who apparently is not showing his in Playgirl. So apparently, Playgirl's making a comeback. Please hold, because let's pull this picture up. First of all, Maluma, child, I just want to lick his abs one good damn time. That man is fine as hell. Shout out to the Colombians. Y'all really do be making some good looking ass men. Y'all really do. I mean, I have a weakness for Latin men in general, but between the Brazilians and the Colombians, this is why I live for Jackson Heights, Queens. Because if you live in New York and you go to Jackson Heights, Elmhurst, that sort of thing, you see all them fucking. Let me watch them out. Well, why? When I've been cussing through the whole show, right? Look at me having a whole conversation with myself. Anyway, let's get back. If you ever come to Jackson Heights, Queens, the amount of South American dudes that live out here, child, you will get your life. And we do have a couple of gay bars in Jackson Heights, Queens, too. So I should point that out. But anyway, so a 30-year-old musician who, is about to be a dad. I don't know if his girlfriend has had the baby yet or she might still be pregnant. But apparently he's on the cover of Playgirl, as you see, and it says Maluma wants to be your daddy. I mean, he about to be a daddy to someone else, but you ain't old enough to be a daddy. You're only 30 years old. Like, I don't understand. And for what I heard, that they're saying that the child that they're having is going to be a girl. So congratulations, Maluma, you're having yourself a daughter. But I do have the pictures of the Playgirl magazine, and he ain't showing nothing. He ain't showing. Look, first of all, if you're gonna do Playgirl, I need to see taint, I need to see booty hole, I need to see dick, I need to see all of that stuff. And if you're not giving me none of that, then what's the point of being in Playgirl? I don't understand it. What's the point of being in Play, girl? So anyway, so yeah, that's another one of the pictures that we have of Maluma, where he's basically, and they're gonna show him in a pair of underwear on top of a counter in a kitchen, wearing a pair of black socks and black underwear. And I have to say this, one of the things I love about Maluma is that he can cut his hair or style his hair any old way, and he still looks good. How is that possible? It's like when you got them good genes, he does all kinds of stuff. I remember he had cornrows at one point. Now he's got that long. Remember Prince back in the day on that debut? What's his debut album where his hair was looking like this, all black, all long and luscious. So he had the long hair, he had cornrows, he would dye his hair all different types of colors, and he always looks good with it. Let's see, is there another picture? Yeah, so now we got him in a towel, but we've seen plenty of pictures of him on his Instagram in the shower, naked in a towel, teasing, the girls, the GIRLS and the GWRLS, the girls and the girls. So my thing is, if you're not showing peen, if you're not showing bussy, if you're not showing bujina, we call it both. You call it bujinas or bussy. If you're not showing any of that, then what's the point of doing Playgirl? Like Playgirl is supposed to be a magazine like Playboy. Remember back in the day, like actors, famous people actually did Playboy. Like Drew Barrymore was naked in Playboy. I remember seeing that magazine when I was a kid. Um, when I would go take the school bus to school and, we pass around porn magazine. Yeah, I'm gonna tell it. And this is back in the day. And I'm sure kids look at stuff on their phone now. But back in the day, I had a friend named Mark who used to come on the bus and the school bus. And we used to sit in the back of the school bus and look at porn. Um, I'm sure this is no different than what younger kids are doing. Look, one of the things I've come to terms with doing this show is if it relates to the story, I'm gonna spill my own tea. Maybe I need to write a damn memoir like RuPaul, which I still haven't gotten around to that damn book yet. So what they said? Oh, they said that when Maluma told the mother to be that he would be taking his clothes off of Playgirl, she was super happy about it. Oh, so your girlfriend might be open. Well, I guess with a lot of Latin people, they're very open sexually. And then she was like, "No way, I love it, but you're going to show the world that you're stronger than ever, that you're the best version right now. You're showing the world that you're killing it because she knows that's my career." And so I'm sure what's going to happen is we're going to have Maluma all up in there showing, the pictures that we saw, but we're not going to see nothing too crazy. I was like, let me pull up another picture of the finance man. I remember there was a friend that I used to work with at the circus. We're still friends, Jose, and we used to actually call him Maluma because they looked like he's Puerto Rican though, but he looks like Maluma, and he likes guys, so I'll say that because he was there with his boyfriend at the time. So he said But anyway, so yeah, he looked exactly like Maluma, and I was like, "Oh yeah, who is this boy?" I was a little mean to him at first because I guess I'm like that. Like I'm very much like very childish when it comes to boys that I'm attracted to. I'm mean to them at first, and then I come around. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be nice to them." I don't know why I do that. It's like a little kiddie thing, I think, because little kids do that on the playground. It's like if you like somebody, but then you're mean to them because you want to get their attention. I still do that in my adult years in a way. It's funny. Well, I think it is. But yeah, so these some cute little pictures. I was like, oh wait, is there more? This is on come on, cheeks. But his butt ain't all that big though. So we seen the photos over here. We already said, oh, I like this outfit. Come on, cowboy. You know what? Maybe he could do a song with Beyonce. Because I do like this outfit. I would actually wear that. But it's like, is this Playgirl or is this Details magazine? Because that's what it's giving us. What was the wasn't that the magazine that we had back in the day with men? It was like, was it Details or there was some type of magazine that they used to have where they used to put like Jake Gyllenhaal, all the guys on the cover. So that's what that's giving me. This is not really giving me like, where's the nudity? Maybe I'm sure since that Playgirl has made a comeback, men there'll be other men in there that'll be less close. But y'all can't be doing Playgirl and not showing no penis. Like that's why we look at the magazine. And like I said earlier, back in the day, Drew Barrymore, a bunch of what was it? A bunch of actors or whatever, women, they did Playgirl. Did Kim Kardashian? I mean, Playboy. Didn't Kim Kardashian do Playboy? But yeah, she also did a sex tape. So why would we be surprised she would do Playboy? But anyway, let's move on and look at these. Oh, he said yes, and Cruel Summer. So yeah, that was their song. Playgirl isn't like those gay adult mags. But I wasn't expecting like Honcho or Latin and Black Inches. Those were those were the magazines back in the day, the gay porn ones. I'm not saying that we need to do Honcho, yeah, or like I said, Black or Latin Inches or any of those type of magazines. Um, they would Playboy, they showed male genitalia and stuff in there. They showed butts and all that other stuff. So we had all that stuff in there. But anyway, so let me close that out. And it said, oh yeah, she did. Farrah Fawcett did Playboy. Oh, that was like this is the second time I forgot to take this damn phone and shut it off before I did this live show. But anyway, so yeah, so I was saying there's a lot of actors, I mean, a lot of famous people that did Playboy and stuff back in the day. Okay, so how many more topics do we have left? I think I closed the Halle Bailey thing because I just realized I don't even have her in the banner. So let me create that real quick. And then, oh, nope, nope, nope. That is not what I wanted to do. That is not what I wanted to do. Um, let me move that up because I was like, I forgot to add that to the damn docket. So now it's there. We good. So at this point, we got how many topics left? One, two, three. We got about 5 topics left. Okay, because we're gonna talk right about now. We're gonna get into this whole Alec Baldwin Rust controversy situation because um if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Roro. If they're still in the comments, they put, there was breaking news and typed it in. It was about that one of the people that worked on the set, Hannah Gutierrez, was found guilty. Hannah Gutierrez, I was like, I almost forgot her name. Name's in the damn lower third. Hannah Gutierrez Reed was convicted of involuntary manslaughter, and that was the breaking news as we was closing out the last show. Speaking of which, if y'all are watching, please hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification button on YouTube and stuff, so that way you know when we go live. Also, if you're watching on Twitter, please hit that share button or other stuff and hit the likes on that as well. But anyway, so yeah, so Alec Baldwin's armorer was convicted of involuntary manslaughter. So we have the whole story on it. So a jury on Wednesday found Russ. So we have more details, so now I can talk about it because I only glossed over it because we were closing out of the show and I didn't have the information in front of me. So a jury on Wednesday found Russ armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed guilty of involuntary manslaughter in the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Jurors returned a verdict after less than 3 hours of deliberations on Wednesday afternoon, following 2 weeks of testimony about safety lapses on set. Gutierrez Reed was acquitted on a separate charge of tampering with evidence. She faces up to 18 months in prison at sentencing, which is expected sometime in April. Now, following the verdict, Judge Mary Marlowe Summer ordered Gutierrez Reed remanded into custody. As her attorney, Monica Barreras, rubbed her back to comfort her, bailiffs led her away. So she's in jail right now. Now, outside the First Judicial District Courthouse of Santa Fe, New Mexico, juror Alberto Sanchez told reporters that the jury reached a fair verdict. Someone died, Sanchez said. You got to take responsibility, especially if you're handling weapons and you're in charge of those. Gutierrez Reed was the first person to stand trial on October 21st, 2021, shooting on the film set at the Bonanza Creek Ranch outside Santa Fe, New Mexico. Alec Baldwin is said to face his own manslaughter trial in July. The first assistant director, I should have just said AD. The first AD, Dave Halls, took a plea deal last year to a misdemeanor count of negligent handling of a gun and served 6 months of unsupervised probation. Okay. So Gutierrez reloaded a live bullet into Baldwin's pistol, which should have contained only dummy rounds. The gun fired, killing Helena Hutchins and seriously wounding director Joel Souza. Gutierrez Reed got the job largely because, see, now here the damn problem, because her damn father is a film armorer. So that's how she got the job. So this is what happened when y'all do that nepotism shit. But then again, I'm not going to necessarily go too hard on the Nepo babies, because here's the thing. If your daddy was doing the job, it's kind of like, as, you know, well, I'll use this for an example. Denzel Washington, his son John David Washington's an actor, right? So John David Washington went through all the proper channels. He studied, did all the other stuff, and now he's like one of the most highly sought after actors working in black actors working in Hollywood right now. So if you go about it the right way and get the right training, I have no problem with that. But her father worked on legendary films such as, and these, I love all three of these movies, by the way: Tombstone, 310 to Yuma, the remake, not the original, and LA Confidential. Now, here's the thing. I agree with the verdict. I agree with the jury coming back and charging her and making her guilty. She is guilty because, first of all, if you're the armor on set, your job is to check the gun. And then when you make sure that everything is in there, and the assistant AD was supposed to do that as well, supposed to check who took the deal, and you go behind the person. So if your job is there to check the weapons and stuff to make sure that nobody on set is going to get hurt, that is what you do. And when you tell them cold gun, that means the gun is good, you can use it. But you have all the second opinions. People are like, well, how come Alec Baldwin didn't check the guns? Because that's not his job. He's an actor. Like, when you look at Keanu Reeves, for example, when he does the John Wick films, yeah, you go and you do the training and stuff. You go on set for for 3 months. You're doing your martial arts training, you're doing your sword training, your nunchuck training, your gun training, your firearm training, I should say. And you're making sure that you look like you know what you're doing. That's what an actor's job is. An actor's job is to convince you that they are that character that they're playing on the screen. So if I'm going through the channels or whatever of playing, if I'm playing an assassin in a movie or a cowboy, I have to convince you that I'm really that character. So I'm going through all the proper training. My training is not in, I'm supposed to check a damn gun. That's why we hire the armorers. That's why when you do these dangerous stunts and stuff on movie sets, they have a stunt coordinator, or they have someone who, is in charge of all of that. So I don't understand why people always want to put everything off on the actor, because the actor is the name and y'all are aware who they are, or you probably just, the people who hate Alec Baldwin because Alec Baldwin is someone who is very political, like very outspoken in his political beliefs. So that, I think, is also another reason why certain people have been going after him, especially how they've covered this story in the media, especially if you go on Fox News, the way they can, they handle that. The conservative media, they go after him because he is someone who is against Trump, who is against the Republicans and what all that's for. But that's not to take away from, they make it that. I was going to say it doesn't have anything to do with it, but it kind of does, because they make it that. They try to make it political by the way they handle the topic. So when it comes to this, I mean, and I was asked at the end of the show, do I think Alec's going to go to jail? I don't think he is, because my thing is that he could, if his team gets up there and they convince him, was like, he's an actor. His thing was to point the weapon and do what he's doing, because he and Helena, who was killed, they went through the thing. Like, she told him, hold the gun, point it, do all the stuff. Like, she was there structuring the scene and all the other stuff, because she was the cinematographer. So if you're going up there doing all of that, she's thinking that the gun is good. He's thinking that the gun is good, and then you fire and this thing happens. And my thing is, ever since the whole Brandon Lee situation, Brandon Lee, who was killed on the set of The Crow because he was killed with the same way that Helena was. There was a live round in a prop gun. So when he died, what was that, 30 years ago? Because it was 94, I believe, when he passed. It was like, yeah, about 30 years ago. When he died, why didn't we eradicate using dummy rounds and all this other stuff back then? Like, I don't understand that. There have been too many situations that has happened where people's lives is at risk. And I understand like making movies is dangerous, especially when you're doing something where it comes with stunts and all this other stuff. But there should be no reason why this is something that a film, like a person of this magnitude, we're still dealing with this in 2020. Well, it happened in 2023. So I'll put it back there. This should not be something that we should be dealing with at this day and age in 2023. That's just ridiculous, in my opinion. That this is something that he that people have endured, and people are still losing their lives on movie sets when a movie set is supposed to be a safe place for people to create something that is pretty much you're playing pretend for a living. So I feel for Helena. The right verdict came down, and this is why if y'all gonna be doing y'all jobs, ain't no half stepping. Y'all need to get up in there and y'all need to do the job that you're paid to do. You shouldn't be cutting no corners. You shouldn't be trying to do all this because if y'all are a low budget film, look, put the budget more or less into the guns and the props and all this. Y'all need to put the extra work into that situation, regardless of how the budget is, because dealing with guns, prop guns, is dangerous. This is why I like with John Wick and stuff. They don't even use bullets and stuff. All that stuff y'all saw in the movies with the bullets, the blood, all that stuff, all that was added in post. I don't know why they don't do that now, which is like just have the prop guns in a way where it's just like you don't need to make the noise with your mouth, which is I always find it funny when people actually be doing that on the on the thing. They'll be like, you don't have to make the noise. We'll add it in. When you find a way to like make the guns make this like clicking noise, so that way, and then the person when they go in post, you could digitally add the fake blood, the digital blood, and the bullets coming out of the gun or the light and stuff. That's why also, even though Rebel Moon wasn't that good of a movie, I did like the way that Zack Snyder did the guns and stuff, where it was like he said we put like little lights and stuff on it so that way it looked like fire and light and all that stuff was coming out of the gun during like the shooting sequences. So you could always come up with creative ways to so that way people don't get hurt on movie sets. So yeah, I'll definitely be following this story because we need to know what the verdict is about Alec Baldwin. Because I see like some people say like if she's guilty, then Alec Baldwin should be found guilty too. And I don't know if I agree with that. Because my thing is like, he's an actor on set. But then again, if he's a producer, I need to know the details of what exactly his role was on set as a producer. Because certain, producers do different things for different situations. They're not all just like one broad brush producer. So I need to know what Alec Baldwin's job was on set as a producer. If he was supposed to be in charge of certain things, including like being aware of like the gun or something, then maybe he need to go down. But for the most part, I need more detail on what his position was as not only just being an actor, but a producer. Because this does leave a slippery slope. I was watching John Campier's show and he said something that made a whole lot of sense. He said, well, this is a slippery slope. If he's found guilty, then okay, so if someone like say Ryan Gosling was doing a movie and he was playing a race car driver and he accidentally killed someone with the car, does that necessarily mean now that he's going to be charged with manslaughter? Because that's not his fault or a situation. Usually when they have like the drivers and stuff, the actors are not really doing a lot of the crazy drag race car type stuff. Like I remember when they did The Matrix Reloaded, when they had the scene when they were driving on the highway and stuff, and Trinity was driving and doing all that, the crazy, moves and all that stuff with the car on the fake highway that they built. They have somebody in the back seat that was literally driving and maneuvering the car, like it literally looked like that scene in Batman Returns where Batman didn't have control of the Batmobile, but it was the Penguin that was sitting in a little bat car, which was hilarious. Like the little kitty thing that the kids sit in that they play in, like the little fake cars or whatever. So there'd be somebody in the backseat that's actually driving the car and stuff, with making it look like the actors. So it is kind of a slippery slope with it. Like I said, I'm gonna keep abreast of this story as it develops because it ain't going nowhere in no time. So we got to find out what the verdict for Alec Baldwin is, and I need more details on that and his position. Like I said, as a producer on this film, which they continue to film even though they lost a life. Which I don't know how I feel about that. Like I get The Crow because they were almost done with the movie, and in a way, that was a way to honor Brandon Lee because I'm sure he would have been like he still would have wanted that movie, and that was such a freaky thing that happened at that time because his father was Bruce Lee and he died the same way. Like he died on a movie set. So that whole situation, like deja vu, it's like that's why they always come up with that story about the Lee's being, the Lee curse. Okay, so Felix says, I remember John Eric Hexum. Oh yeah, I remember that. And I was thinking about that story too, but I didn't remember his name because I was like, there was a story that came out when it was like he was playing with a prop gun. He put it to his head, was like just playing around, little horseplay. He pulls the trigger and he kills himself. There have been things that have happened on movie sets where people have died. What was it? Was it Twilight Zone the movie? I believe there was an actor that was running with two Cambodian children in the water. They weren't even actors. They just had to run in the scene, and the helicopter basically fell. Like there was an accident, I guess it was too low, and then it was an accident, and then the helicopter decapitated all three of them. Child, the crazy shit happened on movie sets. That's why it's like, y'all, they really need to take these safety precautions. And it said, yeah, I remember that was in the 80s because I do remember John Eric Hexum that there was a story about that. Okay, so let's move on to this mess, child. Draya nasty ass. But she ain't no different than some of these men out here. They be 40 something odd years old getting with a 25-year-old. But the difference is that I guess because these older men want to have younger kid, want to have kids, and them eggs ain't powdered at 30, at 22. So, they gonna get you when you're fertile. So, there was some rumors that came out, and I didn't talk about this because it was started as a rumor, but now it's confirmed. I feel like we could talk about it here. So, a couple of weeks ago, there were rumors that were going around that Draya Michele, who was from Basketball Wives, I don't know what she's been doing since, but she, was a part of the original. I don't remember if it was, I think it was Basketball Wives LA. The only original person I think that's on Basketball Wives now, because they had to morph it, because quiet as it's kept, Miami wasn't given what needed to be given. So they had to morph the show together and bring some of the girls from Miami and Jackie Christie, because I think she the only original cast member left from basketball from the LA version. I ain't like none of them Govan sisters. I'm glad they got rid of them whores, because I ain't like none of them opportunistic. Yeah, and I said what I said on them broads. I didn't like any of them, neither one, because it was two. And but anyway, let me calm down and get to the story. So there was a story that came out that Draya was pregnant. She's 39. The boyfriend is 22. He's a basketball player by the name of Jalen Green. So there was a story that came out. I didn't know if it was true. They said that it was that she may be pregnant, she may not be pregnant. She didn't come out and say nothing. But now she took the Instagram and revealed the photos that she is indeed having a baby with a 22-year-old basketball player, child. So let's pull up the picture while we read this, while we read the following. We are overjoyed to share our love for you, little girl. I am excited to speak words to the daughter I never thought I'd have. This is what she wrote in a lengthy post. Now, while she didn't name the baby's father in her post, Draya has been openly dating 22-year-old NBA player Jalen Green for the past year. Now, like I said, pregnancy rumors began to swirl a few months ago after the two were spotted out and about with Drea's baby bump on full display. Now, I should also point out this. She does have a 7-year-old named Drew Scandrick, but she spells it Jru. Can y'all stop with them names? And don't ever forget, she has a son named Nico, but it's spelled Kniko. Um, and let me say this. First of all, Nico is the same age as her current boyfriend. So she is literally hunching a 22-year-old and her son is 22. Make that make sense. I don't want to judge, but I'm judging. And so, yeah, I just wanted to show y'all them pictures. There's a couple other pictures in there, but she's topless. So I'm not gonna really post that on here because Instagram is one thing, but like doing it on here is another. And any little thing, algorithms want to be algorithming, so I'm not even gonna take that risk. But you know, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about this because I'm like, on what? Oh, first of all, I don't know why I closed it because child, the comments was everything. They said read some of the comments because those were the cackle. One person said the fact that she's using Women's Day to validate her situation. Another person wrote, "Finna block you for messing with that little boy." Another person wrote, "Girl, you need to be in jail. Congratulations, though." Another person put, "Look at her face. Got him. Look on her face." That she got, because a lot of people's like, oh, so Draya not out here doing nothing financially with her career. So she went and trapped that little boy. But here's the thing. Is it really trapping when he's 22? Some people say he's grown, but then again, a lot of people would also go on to say that just because you're 22 doesn't necessarily mean your mind has matured. So, is it smart enough to be having a 22-year-old NBA player messing with a woman who's pushing 40 who is having a baby? Because what that means, and people, no shade, but let's call it what it is. A lot of people out here will equate it with a lot of women love to sit out here and trap men for that financial security. And when it come to 22-year-olds, the wind blowing, they dick get hard. So that just got a lot of people wondering, like, okay, so what was you know, what was the agenda? Like, what was the goal in all of this? Because yeah, you got the baby, but I don't see this relationship lasting. What the hell is a 22-year-old have in common with a woman who's almost 40? Nothing. It's the same thing I would say if the roles were reversed. What in the hell does a 39-year-old man have in common with a 22-year-old girl, except you want to control them or you want to get them pregnant and have young kids with them? Because, like I said, women in those 22, their eggs is way more, fertile. The older you get, the more complications there is when it comes to having kids, especially if you're a woman of color. Because we hear a lot of those stories with that, preeclampsia and all that stuff. Another person said one thing about them comments, they are not on your side. And one person put literally why. Another person put you out of pocket. Oh, that little girl gonna be so pretty like her mama. Oh, so look, one positive comment. And yeah, another person put yikes, congrats. You know what? It's funny how people have turned yikes into such like this big because you know what? They need to bring back what Scooby Doo used to say, zoinks. Zoinks. They need to do that. Or maybe it just doesn't have that big of an effect. But look, Drea, if you like it, I love it. Good luck to you, sis. Okay, so we got comments. Um, said, yeah, it crashed. Then it got set on fire. Thoughts on Eternal Sunshine. Oh, because I was talking about. Oh yeah, I did listen to the Ariana Grande album. It was all right. It felt a little anticlimactic. I wanted her to take a little more. I wanted her to take more risks with this record. Maybe Yes, Anna's the closest she's come to like really taking a risk production wise. Because I don't recall Ariana Grande really doing house music or an attempt at it. She's done more or less like, okay, I'm the white girl doing R&B pop music. But she's playing in that Mariah Carey space. But I just felt like I just wanted more from this record. I feel like it felt anticlimactic, like I said. It felt rushed. It felt like it was thrown together because the label probably was just like, well, we need something from you. Like it's been a while since you released new music. What was the other? And then you have Wicked coming out at the end of the year, so you're gonna be busy promoting that for the next year because I don't know when they're going to release part two. It's split into two parts. So they have part one coming out in November, I believe. Part two is probably going to come out 6 months or a couple months later. Well, I would say I'll go with 6 months because you need that little space in between. But then with everybody's brains now being on, they got the attention span of a gnat. Maybe it's best if they do like a song. You release the movie after this one comes out, then maybe 4 months from now in 2025, they release the next one. So maybe March or April, I don't know. But I guess they want to give her enough time to gain an audience so that way, but whatever. So I just felt like I wanted more from this record, but it does feel like she had worked on some songs. They threw it together just to give the fans, the Arianators, the fans something to chew on. And that's that. But I just felt like, okay, it was okay. Child, I don't even remember hearing The Boy Is Mine. Because they said that, I know a lot of people thought it was the Brandy and Monica song. Maybe I got to go back and listen to that song because I barely remember it. And I think maybe that's the problem with this album. It didn't feel memorable to me. Like, it's not something that I feel like I'm going to go back and revisit. Like so many A-list stars right now, y'all are not giving this so far. I have not heard I can't think of off the top of my head any A-list pop acts who have given me a quality record. J-Lo's album was trash. Usher's album was trash. And Ariana Grande's album is not memorable. I won't call it trash, but there's a couple of songs that I'm like, okay, gone vocals. We know she could sing. And then the production was like I felt like towards the later half of the album, I saw a bit of production risk being taken. But the couple of the tracks in the beginning, before Yes and, I just felt like I've heard this from her already. Like I didn't feel like she was really pushing herself. So she played, so regardless of what they be out here saying on Zane Lowe or whatever, and I definitely got to watch that interview with him because one of the things I will say about Zane Lowe is Zane Lowe definitely he's like one of the best interviewers I think around. Like I just love his interview style and how he pulls, even if you don't even like the artist, he pulls things out of them that it's like, you know what? I kind of like you now. That's why I ain't watching that damn Justin Timberlake interview because you're not gonna get me to like his ass. Nope. Not on the strength of Brittany and Janet. Okay, so oh wait, what I said I was gonna do. Oh, let's do the Halle Bailey one, and then I'll save the two gay stories for last. So let's talk about Halle Bailey, who was talking yet again about why she kept her damn pregnancy a secret. So Halle Bailey was at the Essence Black Woman in Hollywood Awards, where she received an award. And during her acceptance speech, she reflected on her career and the birth of her son, Halo, whom she quietly welcomed last year, saying, "We are Black women in entertainment, and although we sign up for the challenges of spotlight in this current climate, that spotlight burns brighter, hotter, and uninterrupted, whereas the scrutiny of its magnification leaves no concealment." That was a whole lot in a mouthful. I was like, go on, scholar, because that's what that was giving me. I've learned from the spotlight over the past 8 years. I've also, if I'm being honest, been burned by it too, as we all have. She said, referencing the racist backlash she faced following the announcement she'd been cast as Ariel in The Little Mermaid. Now, the role changed her life, but she continued, "It cannot compare to the biggest joy of my life, and that was becoming a mom in my perfect little angel Halo." The star became tearful as she explained why she chose to keep the pregnancy private, a decision from a place of she said that it came from a place of protection. "There was no way in hell I was going to share the biggest joy of my world with anyone. Halo was my gift. He is the greatest blessing, and I had no obligation to expose him, me, or my family to that." And she opted for privacy during her pregnancy as part of due to the state of the world. And here's the thing. I actually agree with that. Like I didn't need her to come out and make this big announcement and shout from the rooftops, "Hey, I'm pregnant." Like we didn't need any of that. What the issue was, and I'm tired of explaining this, it was the gaslighting from DDG, from her, and her damn sister. And there were situations where DDG was going live and implying that she was pregnant. So it was sort of like he was gaslighting his audience and also trying to clout chase off of it. So that's what the issue was with a lot of people when we were talking about her and the pregnancy. You didn't have to come out and say anything. Like I said before, when I'm talking about this the last time we talked about this, and she came out with her reasoning of why she didn't want to, reveal the pregnancy and all this other stuff. Kylie Jenner didn't even talk about being pregnant with her second child. She kept that shit under wraps. And her sister Kim was like, "Oh, you need an MVP award for how you was able to keep that a secret, you and your friends." So maybe she should have followed suit with that. Like, we're not mad at you over having a kid or announcing a pregnancy. Maybe she had her reasons because at the time she was pregnant when The Little Mermaid came out. And bad enough she was getting backlash for being a Black woman playing an iconic white role, even though mermaids ain't freaking real. The issue I think would have been like, oh, now we got this Black woman and she had a baby out of wedlock and she's not married. So, people with a moral high horse. So there could have been those reasons and stuff for it too. So like I said before, I wasn't really mad about the fact that she was pregnant because you grown. You grown. If you want to have a kid with your man, that's your vagina. That's your uterus. You're the one that got to live with that decision for the rest of your life, being a mother at your age and when your career is taking off. If that's what you want to do, look, a lot of young women out here are having kids early in their career. Cardi B did it. She had 2 children. I heard she's supposed to be coming out with a new song called Miami next week, sidebar. Not Halle Bailey. Cardi B, since I brought her up in there. So it's like, if you're gonna do all that, do that in your own time. It's like it's not a big deal. But I just felt like because of it's the gaslighting and all the other stuff that went into it is why people got upset. And then when people were speculating and making comments, yeah, she pregnant or whatever, y'all jumping on social media trying to make people feel like they crazy. Hence the gaslighting, because they're coming up with implications about things and they're noticing things that turned out to be what it is. So, girl, go on and raise your child. I hope this is the last time we hear about you talking about this because I don't even care anymore. But I just needed to bring this story in just to wrap it up. We can finally put the final nail in that coffin of this story and move on like regular people. Okay, so let's move on and talk about Kevin Hart, who is finally opening up about the lesson he learned from talking about homophobic jokes, making the homophobic jokes he had done in his stand-up, which caused him to lose the hosting gig at the 2019 Oscars. So according, this shout out to Pink News for this story. So it says the criticism the comedian and actor received for a series of homophobic posts he wrote between 2009 and 2012 was a come to Jesus moment. Shout out to Oprah because she always said coming to Jesus, right? He admitted to the Wall Street Journal. And that says sometimes it's okay to take a step back and be educated. This is what the 44-year-old said. I got a crash course. It was one that was necessary and needed. The post included one where Hart said if he ever spotted his son playing with a dollhouse, he would break it over his head and say, "Stop, that's gay." In other posts, he called gay people fags and mocked lesbians. After being announced as the host of the Oscars, Hart stepped down in late 2018, saying in a post on Twitter X that he did not want to be a distraction on a night that should be celebrated by so many amazing, talented artists. And he said he has sincerely apologized to the LGBTQ plus community for my insensitive words. Shortly after announcing the decision, he told Variety that he was hoping the Academy Awards would have him back at some stage. He previously reflected on the controversy in 2021, saying he doesn't give a shit about cancel culture, adding, "I've been canceled, wait, 3 or 4 times, never bother." And I think that was around the time when, he was saying all this. And I guess that's around the time when people were fighting this whole cancel culture thing. And some people are still doing it. But to me, I feel like if he has really genuinely apologized, which I feel in this article, I really feel the sincerity. Whereas when he said what he said back in 2021, I was like, oh, I can this really makes sense to why, or this gives me even more credence to why I can't stand him. Because me, quiet as a guy, I ain't never really been quiet because I've always spoken about it on many of situations. I've never liked Kevin Hart. I've never found him funny. I can barely sit through any programs that he does, any movies, any shows, whatever. If he's like a small, like a cameo, whatever, I can watch it. But if he is the lead or the co-lead, I can't watch it. Although I will say I did watch them Jumanji movies because it wasn't just him in it. Like Dwayne Johnson was in it. Jack Black, was he in that too? Um, so I did like, a lot of those. I like when it's that type of film. But if he playing a lead or a co-lead, I ain't watching it. And if it's a movie that he's in on Netflix, I already know that shit about to be terrible. So I'm not even gonna waste my time or energy, excuse me, watching any of his films. But I do feel like that he is really sincere this time. And I feel like probably because he's so engulfed in the whole Hollywood scene now that maybe he is seeing the forest for the trees. And being in this industry, he's encountered a lot of queer people. So I can see why he came to his come to Jesus moment. But but yeah, I was trying to see if that was Okay. So he says he's not homophobic. Be happy, do what you want to do. But for me, as a heterosexual man, if I can prevent, no, it's like you can't prevent your child from being gay because being gay is a part of your DNA. It's just who you are. And I don't know how somebody who got a high ass voice, it's funny how it's always these ones out here that got voices higher than, Mariah Carey's, hitting that whistle note is out here criticizing, talking about, you hate the gays. Same thing with Jess Hilarious and that deep ass voice of hers. It's like, bitch, in that situation, you should not be hating on trans when you got that strong ass jaw and that deep ass voice. So some of y'all need to tread lightly out here in these streets because you will get read back. And my thing is, with the gays, like I don't mind a gay joke. I in fact love a nasty gay joke. Like when Joan Rivers used to say kind of filthy, like I like that type of humor. The Joan Rivers, Bianca Del Rio type of humor. And if you could do it in a clever way, I'm here for it. But when you go in inciting, if my son come out gay, I'm gonna bash him upside his head. And the type of audience you're telling that to, particularly to a black audience who don't even like us to begin with, and don't even want to include us in a lot of the conversations when it comes to moving the needle forward in regards to black rights in this country. A lot of gay people have been behind that. Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, since she is a woman of color, and Bayard Rustin. Many of people, queer people who are of color, have been, at the forefront of moving the needle forward in regards to getting equality in this country. Even though a lot of people want to erase the history, but I'm here to remind y'all. So there's a lot of that, and if, like I said, when you know better, you do better. And if he really has matured and stuff, then good on him. He says he has, so I'll take him at his word. And it just said that is the J.K. Rowling story from Monday's episode. Um, I might bring that up at that point, but at this point, I'm sick of that. I can't stand her. Like, I don't understand the whole point. Like, where she purposely misgendered a reporter, a trans reporter, whatever. Like, that woman's disgusting. But um, I'll probably save it for next week since we do have one more topic left, and I don't have it off the top of my head. So I just saw an article on BuzzFeed that after a decade of breaking up relationships. Really? I need to read that article. It's like after a decade of breaking up relationships, because remember, break up with your boyfriend, I'm bored. There's a reason behind why she wrote that damn song, messy ass. Ariana said she thought so she thought that breaking up relationships was unproblematic. That just goes to show the nerve, the gall, and the ego on her. That if she really thought like she don't consider breaking up relationships as problematic because it definitely is. Like, who are you to be up in here trying to wreck other people, like being a home wrecker? Like, you really proud of yourself being a home wrecker? Like, I let you slide after I read her for points back when she licked that damn donut. But now you out here doing this mess. Sometimes I wonder, is Braun like the reason why a lot of y'all be acting like being a hot ass mess? Because look, Justin Bieber was going through his mess, being up under Scooter Braun, and you got her. So I don't even think neither one of them with him anymore. Okay, so let's get to our final topic and talk about Tan France, who is finally breaking his silence over, these claims, all the drama that's going on behind the scenes with Queer Eye. And now I have to say this with all this drama that's been cooking up, because this seems like this has all just randomly been happening within the last couple of. Well, it seems like it's been cooking up, boiling over even more in the past couple of weeks. But it seems like starting in 2023, it seems like there's been more, stuff about this coming up more so than before. Because I don't recall any of this stuff happening, but now it seems like it is. So anyway, so he's responding to accusations that he had a hand in getting Bobby Berk fired from the show. Now, the fashion expert shared a video on Instagram today, which is Friday, to confirm that yes, he is aware of chatter surrounding this week's Rolling Stone story. And we talked about the Rolling Stone story in the last episode when we talked about Gay Jesus, Jonathan Van Ness, being a nightmare on the set of the show. Quiet as it's kept, I actually think Bobby Burke was one of the people they interviewed and spilled some tea. But let's continue. So we do have a clip of Tan speaking out about the drama that has been going on behind the scenes. So what it is that people believe that he had a hand in getting Bobby Berk fired and Jeremiah Brent hired because they're friends. But like I said, Jeremiah said he knew everybody on the show. And Jeremiah has a show with Nate Burkus. I actually think the reason how he got the gig is because the same production company that produces Queer Eye also produces a show that Jeremiah and his husband does or did. Um, I'm trying to remember what was the name of the damn show. It's called, I think it was called Say I Do. I don't know. Is that show still on? It was on HDTV. So yeah, there was that. So anyway, let me get to this clip and then we'll come back and talk.
Casting. I didn't put my friend up for the job. They ended up getting it because they were the best person for the job. Am I so happy that they have the job? I really am. I think they're going to be incredible on the show, but I didn't get them hired by getting rid of somebody else. And this all started because of a comment on a gossip blog that just got reposted and reposted, and then it's almost become gospel. So from the horse's mouth, I'm telling you that that's not at all how it went down. And that's all I'll say on the matter. You need to dig deeper. If you still don't believe it, so believe me, so be it. But that's it. Good morning.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was going to say. Like, at the end of the day, people are going to believe what they want to believe regardless. Now, do I believe that he and Bobby have some personal beef that, I do think that there's something that happened between them. I do think they have some beef. Don't know what it is, nor do I care. If they want to share it, I'll be here to hear it, but we don't need to know it. Just know, like, okay, Bobby's gone on and done what he need to do, and Tan's over there doing what he's doing. Sidebar: are they bringing back Next in Fashion? Because I did like that show, but y'all need to find you a better co-host. Not saying that Tan need to go, but y'all need to find a model that actually has a personality. Because Alexa Chung, she never lasts on any show beyond a first season. Because she had another fashion show that she was a part of that she lasted one season, and then we had Gigi Hadid. She was all right, but she another one that lack a personality. So they need to find some other mom, maybe bring crazy ass Tyra back. But anyway, to get to this story and wrap this all up. Well, Tyra had America's Next Top Model, but bring, maybe Naomi Campbell would be good. Remember that show that Naomi Campbell did back in the day, the fashion show, which was like the voice of fashion? I mean, of models and fashion and stuff. And she was always getting in fights with the other models. Naomi Campbell, that's some good damn TV. But anyway, I do not think that Tan had a hand, say that 10 times fast, and I'm a poet and I know it, in getting Jeremiah on the show and Bobby fired. I already said what it was. Bobby felt at the point was like the show was ready to move on and go their separate ways, and they were going off to do something different. And what happened was Bobby wound up, he moved on. The other, cast members, after they had said, like, okay, this is the final season, and then because of what happened with the writer's strike and the actor's strike, they had no content. So what do? They look right to the reality stars because reality stars don't cost a lot of money. They negotiate a deal. The other four came back. Bobby was like, I thought he was done. Like, I already moved on. I got other things coming up the pipe. Or coming down the pike, and he was ready to move on. And so he was like, "No, I'm not coming back. I'm done. Like 8 seasons was enough. I'm ready to move on. Plus, I believe all the other stories that happened behind the scenes with Gay G's out here acting a damn fool, and probably that a lot of the Fab Five don't get along, which they don't need to. Because I'm like, first of all, at the end of the day, we coworkers. Like we're here to do a job, and after that's done and over with, then I can move on and do what I need to do with my other stuff. I got my friends. Like we said about the whole thing with Anthony only inviting Tan to his engagement party. And we already know what happened with that. Anthony never ended up marrying a guy. They broke up before the wedding. So I believe Tan on what he said. He said that it's not what happened. I believe, like from what I said before, that Jeremiah got the job because it was sort of like it's an in-house hire basically. Because if the same production company produces a show for Nate and his husband, Say I Do, and they also do Queer Eye, you're gonna look to, okay, so what other people do we have on the roster that's similar to what Bobby does that we also produce a show with? So let's look to these people before we go out and look for somebody else. So it worked. But I don't think, and also because they know each other. So I don't think that That was what it was. Was it called Strut? I do remember a show called Strut. I do remember a show called Strut, but I don't know if that was the name of the. Oh, it might be. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, so that was the show with Naomi. But I did love that show with Naomi Campbell, where she had like a reality competition series with like models, and they had to choose models to mentor, and then that. So it was a cute show, but I don't know if modeling shows are people like hungry for modeling shows like they were back in the day. We didn't really have a lot of the internet wasn't what it was back in the day. So you could come up with all kinds of crazy shows. And child, you already see like America's Next Top Model getting raked over the coals still. So there's that. But anyway, so we have, let's see. Let me take all that out. We have come down to the end of the show. I want to thank everybody who was tuning into this live chat and been commenting and all this stuff on the latest episode. Thank you all for watching because, like I said, this without y'all, I just be here talking to myself. Do yourselves a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button. It's free. I'm not asking y'all for no money because my love don't cost a thing, in the words of J-Lo. And yeah, the reason why I say all that is because it helps with the algorithm. It helps YouTube realize that, hey, I'm doing a show over here, and it pushes it out to get more people to watch the show. So thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed me running my mouth for over 2 hours and all the clips and all the other stuff that we talked about on here. So thank you all for watching, and thank you all who, like I said before, was in the comments and all that good stuff. And so, yeah, I'll be back after the weekend, and we'll do another show because I'm going to be busy this weekend. I got a lot to do on Saturday and Sunday. So until next time, ciao, darlings.